It's the Wednesday wrap-up show.
Yes, as DJ Cool Red Alert would say. What's going on?
Just two of us, man. Just the two of us.
Yeah, you know, the faithful few. Somebody else will pop in. I'm guessing maybe Herschel. He'll grace us with his presence.
If we talk about something he finds interesting.
Well, there's a couple of things we could talk about. There's some obvious stuff, and then there's some not so obvious stuff. But yeah, how's everybody in the chat? Shout out to BCL, Black Superheroes Forever. Fam,
what's up, James Tomlinson?
What's good? What's good?
Robert Peterson, recast should have been in the works. Marvel was all set to transition Black Panther as a central character. In their plotting, you can tell they have been floundering ever since. We'll get into that. Heracles Dragon Balls, what's going on? Marwan Williams, how you doing, sir? Good evening. Eclectic Beauty Nietzsche, coming to a regular in these lives. Appreciate you.
No doubt. Yo, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a hater. You know.
We need to up our roster of haters.
Yeah. Well,
what is it that said? We have too many haters that have become fans. We got to up our roster of haters again.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
No,
I told you 2025 is going to be a year of peace. Though I can.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What's up, family boy? Looks like an OG BCL show. Yes, sir. Oh, frustrated fans. Haven't seen you in a minute, bro.
He been too busy on that. He on that Washington Commanders high.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did their thing this season. Congratulations. They got a big test coming up this week, but yeah. Congratulations to the Washington Commanders for sure. Yeah, and please, like JT said, hit the like button.
All right.
What's happening? Mm-hmm.
What up, Jay Wilkes? Okay. Where are we gonna start? Well, I guess the obvious big news of the day people have been buzzing about is this recasttchalla thing.
Recast who?
Some dude.
Yeah. You know, let's get into it, Paul. News came out that, you know, Marvel is planning to recast T'Challa before the two Avengers movies and Black Panther 3. So this is pretty big.
Well,
maybe.
Maybe. So here's my take. First of all, let me start with this. Where did Marvel leave off? They did their own recast with Toussaint, the
TJ,
the bastard child of T'Challa and Nakia.
Don't say that, man. That's so harsh, man.
It's harsh, but it's. I mean, here's why I say that specifically. It would be harsh if that was not done intentionally. Mm-hmm. Understand. To give us perspective, the original script for Black Panther 2 is done by Ryan Coogler. Involved T'Challa being blipped out for 5 years and coming back to the world as a father of a 5-year-old child from the Nakia, who was supposedly had moved on with a new man. And so it was going to be a father and son story about T'Challa and his son.
Mm-hmm.
A single dad? Where has T'Challa ever in the comics ever been shown to be a single dad?
Never.
we have our top black superhero in the world, the one that a lot of black men identify with as being the apex of what a superhero is for us, in terms of also not just powers or whatever, but the way he carries himself. He's literally a king. He carries himself as a king, regally, intelligent, noble, honorable, a warrior, a family man. And they were going to make him a single dad. Not because his wife died as a widower, but because she moved on with some other dude. I didn't like that story. And this was the story they had for Chadwick Boseman. And then after he died, they went worse. They said, we're going to have T'Challa die. But before he died, he knocked up Nakia, gave her some money, and set her up in a different country in an apartment. Like a side chick.
You know what?
A deadbeat dad. It's no different than if he was like a celebrity.
No. Stop, Paul. You called the man a deadbeat dad. The man, technically he is, because he is dead. He's a dead dad, but not a deadbeat dad. Okay,
he wasn't around. He wasn't in Haiti.
Oh my goodness!
It was the blip, bro. It was the blip. He was gone 5 years. Everybody that was gone during the blip.
Right.
No.
Half of Earth was gone.
No.
What's going on, Angel? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right.
He was aware of the child. He specifically said, well, he did not want the boy to be around the royal court. He wanted him raised as a regular kid, so they shipped him off to Haiti. Look, that was intentional. That's the setup they gave. I'm not cool with that. So there's that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now Marvel MCU has established Toussaint as the future Black Panther. So Marvel makes this announcement, or somebody makes this announcement. It's a rumor because we don't have an official confirmation from Marvel. But let's say the rumor's true. Mm-hmm. We're going to recast him before Secret Wars. Secret Wars was my preference because Secret Wars would involve, hopefully, rebooting the entire MCU, which means everybody gets recast. It's a reset button as the possibility. And so we could reset the MCU and make it the way it's supposed to be, with all new actors, with new contracts, which is why a lot of these things are happening anyway. But they're saying, hey, we're gonna do a Black Panther 3 before Secret Wars. And we're gonna recast T'Challa. Everyone's like, oh, good, we won, we recast T'Challa. Not so fast. They said they're recasting T'Challa. The last T'Challa we had was a kid. They're going to age the kid up. They're not going to use the same actor kid. They'll just get an aged up new actor. They never said how old T'Challa was going to be. Mark you now, a couple weeks ago, there was a rumor about a plot leak for a new Black Panther 3 movie that would introduce Storm. They said, hey, Denzel Washington is going to be in Black Panther 3. They said Denzel Washington may end up playing Storm's father, and that Storm would be in Black Panther 3, and it'd be a love story where T'Challa meets Storm, going back to that time that they were together, right? In Africa, as they were on walkabout together, and they were kids at the time. So if you're going to have this Toussaint kid be the new T'Challa, they just get a teenage kid, recasting a new actor to play Toussaint to be the new love interest for Storm, where Denzel's the father, Mr. Monroe, and that would be part of Black Panther 3. So, I don't know what the recasting T'Challa means. But it does not bode well for a company that I've lost faith in, to be honest with you.
I would just say that I don't expect Marvel to do the perfect recast T'Challa for what that's worth. I think it's going to be something that I think everybody will kind of like, okay, I'm cool with that. But they're going to definitely be detractors. They're not going to like it or whatever they choose to do. Because really, truth be told, we don't know. If we go by the quote unquote leaks and that kind of thing, that's one thing. I don't think that that's the case. However, I will simply say that it's long as they recast the character.
Which character? Toussaint? TJ?
No, not TJ. I wouldn't say. I would listen. If they are throwing down the gauntlet and they're gonna stick with Toussaint, okay, fine. Kids here, okay. You want to make him the young or the future Black Panther? That's fine if that's what y'all want to do. I got a Marvel shirt on tonight, but understand that it's a Marvel shirt, but it's a black shirt. So I'm gonna always take the black pill when it comes to. I'm always gonna take the black pill when it comes to Marvel. So I'm not excited. I just, when it shows up on screen, I'm pretty sure 11 million different people will talk about it and will find something wrong with it. And some people will find something right with it. Kind of like the Sam Wilson Captain America #1, but we'll get to that later.
I don't think anybody considered, though, they could actually do a Paul Walker and just have Boseman in the movie with a double.
You mean like a CGC Chadwick Boseman?
Yeah.
CGI blast Chadwick Boseman?
No.
Hey, anything is possible. I'm just throwing it out in the ether.
We was just at a funeral called Wakanda Forever. We don't know. Let Chadwick Boseman rest in peace. I like it, Angel, but I kind of don't want them to do that because at some point we have to let Chadwick be the past and let the future of Black Panther, whoever gets the role, let that be the guy. Because this is a large, I don't care who they cast. I really don't. There's some people saying they did it, Jameson Idris, Michael Jai White. I don't care. Personally, I prefer a unknown. I really want somebody that no one has seen. I would nice. If you gotta go get him from Britain or Jamaica or Kenya. I really want an unknown because to me those are some big shoes to fill. And so I would rather an unknown get a shot, and that way that person really has no pressure. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you give it to someone that we already quote unquote know, they already know the bar is high.
Right.
And so it's kind of like you bring in a fresh face, you bring in somebody that's hungry, that wants to do it, what I'm saying, nail it, that kind of thing, because that person knows that this job could actually, I can have this job for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So there's that too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy that they're going to do it, but I really want an unknown, because I'm just telling you, you Black Panther fans, we can't make y'all happy.
Apparently not.
You could have made us happy by recasting it, or or at least not killing a dude in Wakanda Forever. That would have solved the problem.
It's Michael Jai White is 57 years old. I get it, bro. I'm just saying he could be old man T'Challa. Now
Yeah,
that's
he
the movie
could.
I would want to see. I've said that I want to see that comic book, but I wouldn't mind an old man T'Challa on screen.
The
Yeah.
problem, the reason why you will never see old man T'Challa on screen is because old man T'Challa, as exemplified in the Black Panther annuals, had taken over the friggin' world. And he had killed Doom, he had killed Magneto, he had married Storm, he had a mess of kids, and he was the ruler of the world.
Sounds good to me.
Nobody's ready for that storyline.
Sounds
You know
great.
what? What could you? And here's the thing: if let's say they did that, right? And it's what could you do after that? I mean, literally, what could you do? It's like kind of killed everybody, you know. Oh, you know what I would, man? You know what I would like to see in a comic book. You know, the Deadpool kills the Marvel cinematic. I mean, the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
What about Black Panther kills the Marvel universe? What about that? I will be here for that.
Marvel will never let that storyline happen.
I will be here for that. Yeah, Marvel. Shout out to all the Marvel people that watch us. We know you're watching. You don't want us to know you're watching, but we know you're watching. We know you're watching.
They gotta get ideas
it's funny you should mention that. I actually suggested that storyline when He Who Should Not Be Named by Me did his run on Black Panther, where he was trying to make T'Challa out to be this villain for doing things that kings do, and he has done for decades, and no one's ever had any problems with it. I think the better story he should have done is actually make T'Challa be quote unquote a villain, much the same the way we just had with Amanda Waller, where T'Challa literally says, look, Wakanda's got all these resources. I see all this evil and corruption in the world. The US government's corrupt. Rich people, these rich billionaires who Illuminati people are corrupt. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing the pain and suffering that people are undergoing all over the world. I'm going to clean the world up with Wakanda's resources and then make him out to be the bad guy because he's cleaning up the world and he's doing things that are ruffling feathers left and right and have everybody go after the Black Panther Wakanda. That would have been an interesting damn story to do.
Yeah, but you know, but Paul, you know how I feel about making heroes villains and villains heroes.
No, but understand, he's not being a villain. It's a matter of perspective. From his perspective, he's literally cleaning up the world, but the world is like, no, we like being messy. We like being evil and corrupt. We don't need you taking away our nuclear bombs and curing cancer and preventing us from having, all these medicines rather than curing cancer. We don't need all that.
I think it would be too much like what was the DC story? Injustice.
Yeah.
Kind of like Injustice.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Injustice, but with Black Panther. That would have been an interesting storyline.
Yep.
Because he would have ultimately had to go up against the Avengers, like, oh, we can't do this. We can't take over just because we have the power. He's like, well, you can't, but I am a king.
Oh my goodness, the accent.
Yeah. I mean,
Bacon asks, Paul, would you like it if they did a spin on the comic story when Black Panther was in the Avengers to spy on them? How far between that reveal and when he killed young Iron Man? I mean, yeah, I'm here for it. That type of stuff, exploration requires thought and it requires work and it requires creativity, which some writers don't want to do. I should not say the writers. I should say some editors won't allow to happen, I should say.
Well, at this point, I'll just settle for a Black Panther run, which, by the way, we have no clue when that's going to happen. But yeah.
I know. I think some people agree with me. Even more like informed
Killmonger.
a gentler Killmonger.
Right. Stop. We're going to stop with the Killmonger was right foolishness. Y'all stop that.
Pericles says, my choices for T'Challa are Soapy Dirasu, Gangs of London, and Abukar Salim, Raised by Wolves, Assassin's Creed Origin. Those are good choices. Those are good choices. Vagrant says, Marvel movies and comics are all about maintaining the status quo, no major shakeups allowed. I would agree. Don't agree. Disagree with that. Morally great, T'Challa would end up being Doom. Yeah.
That would be nice.
That would be interesting.
I could go for that.
Black Panther, I sell drugs in Wakanda.
Oh my God.
It might be a horror movie for some people. That part. Would be cool to have an Illuminati movie. I would like to see an Illuminati movie at some point. In fact, I think it would be a good television series for Disney Plus. Killmonger essentially an Injustice Black Panther. Yeah. A conversation I legit had. Killmonger is a hero. He beats women, shot through his girlfriend, and wanted to enslave white people. They still thought he wasn't offended.
Right.
He's being facetious. Yeah, I mean, Killmonger's legitimately a villain. Our man Phil's in the house. We just need a classic T'Challa story with no worldly stakes, just a great comic with a great story. Well, we just had that with Avengers 20. All right, so the other piece of news that we had in the same realm, let me see if I can pull that up. My buttons over here aren't working, but we'll make it work somehow. Someone else wants to throw their hat into the MCU. Wicked star Cynthia Erivo reportedly, allegedly, rumors, we don't know yet, wants to play X-Men Storm in the MCU.
Oh, she would be amazing. What?
Would she though?
I like her.
Would she?
Look. If she not singing,
I mean, look, says Wicked star Cynthia Erivo is calling her shot and says she'd like to next play the X-Men's character Storm in live action. In the wake of Wicked becoming a box office smash hit, many have been speculating about what Erivo might look to do next. Marvel fans specifically have been attaching Erivo to the MCU and have been fan casting her in droves to play. Which Marvel fans are fan casting her in droves? To play Storm in a potential X-Men movie. Now Erivo herself has come out and said that Storm is the part she also wants. Speaking to the National Board of Review, Erivo was asked to manifest a character that she'd like to play in the future. Erivo said Storm is the next character she would like to portray, presumably in the MCU. She went on to talk about the depth that she believes Storm has as a character, which is a large part of what attracts her to the role. I really want to play Storm, Erivo said. I know it sounds frivolous, but I don't think we've uncovered how grand she is and all of the inner turmoil that she has. So I think there's a world in which she could do something like that. Now, here's the thing. She's a fantastic actress. I saw Wicked with my daughter probably about 4 times at this point. My daughter loves the movie Wicked. She loves this actress. She did a fantastic role. My 2 concerns are this. Number 1, I think she's too old. The actress.
Really? We're gonna go with the age.
Absolutely.
One hand we'll say, wait. One hand we say black don't crack, and then the other we have to put an age on the woman when we have modern technology. Her talent isn't in dispute, but we want to throw age. We had Halle Berry, but come on.
Yes, and here's the reason why. Because when they do these roles, they're franchise roles in which the actor has to be able to play the role for a good 10 years. And if I want me personally to have a storyline where Storm marries and has kids, she'll probably age out of that at the end of those 10 years where it just doesn't make sense. But, ideally, if you're starting a new franchise with a character of that significance, I want them to start the storyline when she's very young. When she joined the X-Men, she was like 20 or so.
Right.
She does not look 20. And she's got to be able to play. So I want an actress who is that age, who's like 20, 25 years old, and they can have her in the next movies for the next 15 years. It's just a practical thing for me. And then the other thing is, I don't know what's going on. She's gonna have to grow her eyebrows back. That's kind of weird.
I ain't got nothing for the eyebrows. Okay,
That's
I ain't
just a
got
little
nothing for the
pettiness on my
eyebrows.
part. But I mean, she's got to
draw.
I don't know what happened
They
with that.
They just go draw 2 white lines.
You gotta.
I mean, if that's the disqualifier, I mean, you know, I can't do nothing about the eyebrows.
I can see it now. She going to test for the role. Okay. White wig. Okay. Something's missing. What is it? Oh, I know. Where your eyebrows, baby? Where your eyebrows? No, they could do something for the CGI for that or whatever. But yeah, she got to have some. Storm has white eyebrows as well, so that's got to be a part of. That's got to be a part of the cosplay at least, okay?
She's
but
also
no, here's the thing. Because she's talented. I don't doubt that she could play the role.
Of course.
Now, aesthetically, some may say she's too short or whatever. Storm is like 5'10" or whatever. I get it, but you know, there's no saying. There's nothing. We can't dispute her acting chops. This is a woman who's played.
My whole point.
This is a woman who's played Harriet Tubman. This is a woman who's played, you know, the role of the Wicked Witch of the West. Which, by the way, and I get it, it's wicked or whatever. And Hollywood has this thing where they want to make all the villains have to. We gotta sympathize with the bad guy. Listen, shout out to Mabel King. Who was the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wiz. She was a villain. She sung, matter of fact, "Don't Bring Me No Bad News."
I still have nightmares about that scene.
So I need them to kind of, you know, ratchet up or whatever. But I get it though. It's, you know, and I think they're going to do a sequel. Speaking of Wicked. But you know, as far as the situation with her, if she wants to do it, you know, I think she should get a shot. Will she be able to like get the role? That's a different thing. But of course, we don't even know when they're going to bring Storm into the MCU. So there's that other part. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody's talking about the X-Men and that kind of thing, but I don't see Storm hopping the X-Men. Respectfully, guys. I know that's what y'all want, but I think we're going to see the X-Men first, and she will be introduced into that. I can't see them doing her kind of on her own, but we'll see. Nigel says she's old, period.
She's too old. She's too old.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you know,
37 or so.
Yeah, she drink enough. Hey, listen, she drink enough water like Angel says. She can kill it. You know, drink enough water. You know, make sure she moisturized. She might be able to pull it off.
I'm just saying, there's too much technology that when you have someone that talented, that there's not a way to conform to the brand. That's all I'm saying. To throw age and height out there when that doesn't mean anything on a movie stage, it doesn't. Now the eyebrows might do everything. You know what I mean? Missing eyebrows.
Why do they have to bend over backwards to de-age someone and spend a budget on stuff like that when they can simply get a younger actress? There's lots of young actors out there.
You want me to answer that real quick? Harrison Ford.
What about Harrison Ford? The guy makes money.
That's an example. It seems like.
Yeah, Harrison Ford is pretty old. He's playing the Hulk, Red Hulk.
For the rest of other types of folk, there seems to be this permission, and for people that look like me, there seems to be this, oh, you hit the wall, you aged out. Seriously? How does that work?
You know what?
That's more a sexism issue, I
Is
think.
it?
Because if we're talking about you know, a white woman wanting to play Jean Grey or something, I'd make the same thing, that she has to be in her 20s or younger to bring the X-Men into the MCU. You want to, I don't know. I guess if you're going that route where you're doing the X-Men when they're still in school at Xavier's, you have to have a younger actress. Right?
Sometimes, I mean, yes,
school,
but when we're talking about comic books, I mean, they're going to use the technology to fantasize what you're looking at anyway. Unlike a traditional movie that's more drama or adventure,
right?
anything derived from comic book fantasy and magic is going to have the technology anyway. So I personally would weigh heavily on talent over, you know, as long as she's pretty and she has good talent, the other stuff really isn't necessary because you're using the software anyway. You have to make it fantastic. You have to make it magical. There's powers. People are flying. There's, you know, things blowing up.
Somebody in the chat.
Anyway.
Yeah, somebody in the chat brought up Angela Bassett would have been a better. That was eclectic.
All day long.
I would take Angela Bassett as Storm right now, and she in her 60s.
Yeah, Angela Bassett, hands down.
That black woman is ageless. She like the black female version of Casey Kasem, just youthful. So, you know, but again, to Angel's point, it could be done, but at the same time, because here's the thing: when Letitia Wright played Shuri in the Wakanda Forever movie, I always thought that Letitia Wright was too thin, but she pulled it off.
Yep, sure did.
You know, so there's that. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't have necessarily the body type for Shuri, at least not the J. Scott Campbell Shuri.
There's very few women who in real life
but I'm just saying, I mean, you know,
version of any type of
movie. But if you're going quote unquote comic book accurate, right, that's the Shuri that people look at. And so again, she was able to do it. And like I say, she's very thin, because I thought when she got the role, or she was going to go forward as Black Panther, that she was going to have to get on that Marvel diet. And in her case, she was going to have to bulk up, get in the gym, that kind of thing, whatever. And she did get hurt, you know, doing the role at the time when they were filming. But it's possible, guys. I don't doubt that Cynthia Erivo could do it. Just bring eyebrows. Make eyebrows great again.
And she'd have to wear like 9-inch heels. Or they'll have to do the Tom Cruise thing where they film things at low angles.
Right. Well, yeah, Tom Cruise film, yep.
You know, I mean, she's got eyebrows in the Wicked show. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When she was walking the red carpet and doing the press, I was like, where do eyebrows go? I just want to know, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, shout out to Cynthia Erivo. Doing her thing with Ariana Grande. Man, I gotta say, I was surprised that Wicked did as well as it did. I thought it was going to be good, but it really has come to be the blockbuster of probably 2024. So that's a wow moment for sure. And here's the thing: the sisters, y'all been doing y'all thing, whether we like it or not, guys. I mean, the Barbie movie was $1 billion movie. So
I still haven't even watched it.
You know, and some people think that's a very shallow movie, but I think it's a real movie. You know, this is a lot of young girl's life. You know, their character, their screen. Everybody had a Barbie or a Barbie-like character in their growing up. So
I had G.I. Joes.
G.I. Joe, for real.
And
I didn't have a G.I.
Transformers.
Joe. I had a Stretch Armstrong. I had a Stretch Armstrong as a kid.
I did not have any Barbies.
And my brother cut the Stretch Armstrong up to see the inside. And it was just red goo. At least they got the red.
I still got my G.I. Joes.
Yeah. You guys and G.I. Joe.
Hey, be careful.
Wow. You know what? Enough of that. So let's talk about, you know, we didn't do any show prep for this or whatever, but
Zero show prep.
Sam Wilson, Captain America 1 came out about a week or so ago.
Yeah.
And look, I like the comic for what it is, but there's a lot of people, white and black, that don't like this comic book. And you know, it's kind of like, and I'll listen to a podcaster in the YouTube space talk about this comic book. And while I hated his analysis, I did have to agree with some things he did bring up. I also read a review from somebody in our space, and I ain't like the review.
Careful.
But they had some good points. So what do you do, Paul, when when two diametrically opposed opinions agree on one thing? It sucks on this side, and it sucks on this side. I enjoyed it for what it was. Did you read it, Angel?
No, I haven't. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah. I thought it was okay for what it was. But there's some issues with it.
Oh, we lost Paul.
I know.
Oh,
He coming there he is. So
we got a super chat.
So this is what happens. This is what happens when you start going into dangerous territory. I get booted.
Yeah.
That's funny. Marvel
Super
delayed
chat,
Blade.
Brother Man to you. Marvel delayed Blade, so they might delay T'Challa.
Nah, Brother Man, to you. I think that if anything, we probably will get T'Challa recasted before we get a Blade movie. That's just. I think that's just what it is.
In the spirit of that.
Yep. So, but the Sam Wilson situation is interesting. In that this is a character that is okay. All right, Richard, breathe.
Slowly.
This is an original character, Falcon, that they made into a legacy character. Can someone tell me, in the history of comic bookdom, where an original character has become a legacy character and is successful as said legacy character?
In the history, but that was a long, complicated statement. In the history of comic bookdom, I was hung up on that word because I thought it was a cool word. When has a legacy character been successful as a what? As a non?
When is a original character that has become a legacy character been successful?
Nightwing became Batman for a while.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
Wally West became the Flash.
That's
for
right.
a while. he's considered more popular as a Flash. In all reality, Hal Jordan is the second Green Lantern after Alan Scott, and he's more popular than Alan Scott.
But what was Hal Jordan as original character, though?
Well, it's a matter of perspective. Alan Scott's powers are based on magic and was retconned to be part of the
Grand and Corp
thing. Yeah. So Hal Jordan was kind of the first.
I'm just asking that because there was nothing wrong with Falcon being Falcon.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And here's the thing. This podcaster who was melanated challenged said something that I thought I didn't like it, but I had to agree. And it was, they only tell these stories with him as Cap Falcon in race almost kind of is like a default button that they push that's there because of the Stars and Stripes as a black man, as if he didn't have those issues when he was Falcon. However, because Falcon is a character has never really been Marvel has never fully invested themselves into Falcon, which is proof that they've only had, let's see, how many Falcon runs have there ever been? There was a 4-issue original Falcon run, right? That was written by Jim Owsley, Christopher Priest. Then there's the Falcon run that Rodney Barnes did a couple years ago. But you literally had no Falcon runs for decades.
There was also Captain America Sam Wilson run.
Yeah, Captain America Sam Wilson run.
There's 3 runs, and one of them he was playing Captain America. And the argument is it's the one where he played Captain America that went 25 issues. His other runs did not.
True.
The Rodney Barnes one went what? 8 issues?
8 issues.
Like and 8. Then his original run by Christopher Priest was only 4 issues. It's not until he puts on the red, white, and blue that he's considered a cool character.
Brother Man actually says, did you mean black original legacy characters or just in general? Just in general. I mean, let alone black character, whatever. Falcon was an original character who happened to just be black, okay? But you made him a legacy character.
We have a super chat, $20 from L Dog. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, L Dog.
Let's go.
I was not expecting that.
In light of recent events you're unaware of, we actually need the money. So thank you.
Yeah! Louder! Show me the money! I need to feel you, Jerry! Show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money! I love black people!
Appreciate that tremendously. Thank you. Here's the thing, and I made a post about this. You know,
Jeff Rocker said they should give him the RBG shield. I would be here for that. Give Sam Wilson the RBG shield.
He should have had that. In fact, there was a post on Facebook. Hold on, let me pull that up. Here it is. Let me share that. It wasn't Facebook, it was Twitter.
We're going to Twitterverse. Twitter's the devil.
Yeah. So this guy posted these pictures of Sam Wilson. And you mentioned the RBG, right? So here's him in the news costume, an RBG costume, just different versions of it. Look how much better that looks.
It does look really good.
It looks really good, right?
I had not seen that post. Okay.
Which goes back to the point that I made on the post. I put
Damon Watson, you wrong for that, sir. And your black card is pulled. He says, what is I only know Ruth Bader Ginsburg. RBG.
Oh my God.
He's playing. He gotta be playing.
Bro, don't.
But just listen, because you know what? I'm gonna just put it out there. I'm just not gonna assume everybody knows what that is. That is the red, the black, and the green. Sissy. I'll throw some X-Clan on top of it.
All right, so check this out. So this guy posts. I'm not sure what Marvel and Marvel Studios are doing with Sam, but having him take on everyone else's unique and original superhero name and mechanisms, Sam needs to be more authentic. So I put exactly. Sam Wilson is Marvel Comics' first African-American superhero. He's an original Black superhero who shouldn't need to take on someone else's mantle to be good enough.
Right.
Upgrade the character. Don't temporarily give him someone else's legacy. Hashtag make Falcon great again.
Yes,
That's
exactly
kind of
what
the
they
thing.
did.
That's kind of the thing, because there was a running theme in Sam Wilson's history. You know, Herschel likes to talk about, well, Sam Wilson wasn't a sidekick. He was a sidekick. In fact, it was part of the storyline in Captain America and Falcon where Sam Wilson, think about this. When he was first introduced in Captain America 117, what was his superpower?
He had no superpower.
He had no superpowers. He had a green suit that showed his chest and his man meat. He had no
man meat. Okay.
Right?
Taco meat.
It's taco meat. It's taco meat. Eventually,
you know what? We should have put a pause behind.
Disclaimer, something.
I got to do a disclaimer. Am I disclaimer territory already? I got a disclaimer.
You did say man meats.
All right, I disclaimed myself.
Well, see, Derek should have been here. Derek should have been here to clip that. We could use that later.
But here's the thing. Sam Wilson didn't have any powers. He had problems with that for a while because all he had is his little grappling hook, and he felt less than. So much so that what happened? T'Challa had to give him his first set of wings to upgrade him, to make him super. That was his superpower. But even after that, he still eventually felt like he was not enough. And he told Cap, I need to go solo. The people in Harlem are giving me a hard time. They think I'm a sellout because I'm hanging out with you. Blonde hair, blue-eyed dude wearing red, white, and blue. And they're calling me a sellout. I need to do my own thing. We're breaking up. And Cap is like, well, I've never considered you a sidekick. I've always considered you a partner. He's like, yeah, but I'm a sidekick, so I need to go do my own thing so I can establish my own identity, thus reinforcing the idea that Sam has never felt like he is good enough. When he eventually became Captain America, he had this whole outcry. And he realized, ultimately, I don't need to be Captain America, which is what Rodney Barnes' storyline was about. He's like, I'm good enough.
Yeah.
So this is a step backwards in many respects for him to all of a sudden become Captain America again. They never really explored why he chose to be Captain America yet again.
The movie, basically, Steve went off to live with the love of his life.
Comics, man. This is Black Comic Books. I'm not talking about the movies. I'm talking about comics.
I'm just saying that's kind of what they did to justify him having the shield. Listen. I don't. Here's the thing.
The thing is, Sam Wilson needs upgrades. His character has needed upgrades for years. I've said the ultimate Black Panther version of Sam Wilson was far better Sam Wilson than what was in the 616. Why not give him better, give him the super soldier serum so he has actual physical powers. Give him more offensive capabilities with his suit. Make his suit reinforced, so it, have Tony Stark upgraded, have T'Challa upgraded. There are things that, this is comics. Anything can be upgraded to make him more than what he is. Upgrade, make Falcon better. You don't have to give him someone else's mantle. He's Marvel's first African American superhero. Do you know what?
We don't need leftovers.
The very first African American superhero have to take on someone else's mantle to be considered relevant enough to have his own movie? Are we serious?
I listen. You get no argument from me, but they did make the movie, and we're gonna go see it. Now, here's the thing.
Oh,
and they did
we
it.
Don't want to forget.
Yeah, I know.
You.
Yeah, go ahead. But yeah. Your usage of man meat is wrong and refers to something else. Yes, he gets it. We don't usually see. We don't do podcasting. This is what we do these live shows with. But that should be the name of if we had a podcast. That should be the name of this episode. Man meat.
Hide the man meat.
So, but look,
okay.
I shout out to the DJ Big Phil. I am looking forward to seeing the movie. Now, here's the thing. Marvel they went fully woke, decided to put this movie out, and they're putting it out in February as if they're gonna catch lightning in the bottle. This could go so good, but it also can go so bad. And it's Black History Month, and I want to be in the theater, Paul, with my chest out, but I'm afraid I'm gonna be doing this.
Are you gonna have the V-neck tunic that shows your taco meat?
Bro, look, like I said, y'all go see the movie. We want it to do well. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? Again, going back to the comic book. As far as the comic book itself, I like the comic book for what it was and what was in the comic book, especially when they had Isaiah Bradley, Josiah X. I'm here for all of that. You know what I'm saying? Now, the stuff that, you can kind of go back and forth whether you like the art or you didn't like the art. I liked it for what it represented. And, this melanated challenged guy said that, what kind of superhero doesn't invite, other people? I'm like, it's a black cookout.
Yeah.
Now, I've been to cookouts before, and maybe I need to get out more. But all the cookouts I've ever gone to, it's just us.
Yeah. I mean, it's like these people are making these comments like, well, it's kind of crazy for Black people to all be having some type of cookout with just Black people. Like, have you been to a cookout? Like, what Black people are y'all hanging out with?
Those kind of comments are just coming from not feeling centered and left out.
Yeah.
We've done the same thing for thousands of years. We don't need a reason. It's just something we do. Period.
Yep. And we tend to do these things during white holidays.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if we want to be educational about it, when they had American holidays, we were forced out to not participate, just like Social Security and all the other stuff we paid into. If we want to really call a thing a thing.
It's hard.
Yeah. So, and see, I knew the guy was full of crap when he tried to call out Evan Narcisse, tried to call out his writing. And I didn't like that particularly because he kind of insinuated that they made Greg Pak the chief writer, but they brought in Evan Narcisse to kind of like be the black lens or the black gaze, if I can say it like that. And so I was kind of put off by that because, first of all, Greg Pak's a great writer. he doesn't quote unquote need Evan Narcisse, but Evan Narcisse must jump on my project. You think I'm gonna say no to that? No. So, you know, and of course this guy clearly is short-sighted, and he's gotta feed the beast, which is his fan base. Shout out to the dominant culture.
And Comicsgate.
Yeah. Or we just call it what it is, the mayonnaise. But anyway,
we told you this is 2025. You said you weren't going to use that word no more.
I did have some mayonnaise a little while ago on my sandwich. So, yeah,
with some raisins.
That. But anyway, my point is that we go to cookouts, and it's us. So excuse us for being us. Yeah. Because when you guys do what you do, we don't care. Why we don't care? Because we at the cookout. We're not playing Creedence Clearwater. We're playing Maze. We're playing Brick. We're playing Michael Jackson. We're playing John Coltrane at our cookouts. I don't know what you do at your cookouts, but this is what we do. You know what I'm saying? And again, you know, look, at least Falcon or Sam invited Cap to the picnic. He could have did what Paul would said. Paul don't invite nobody to the cookout that don't look like us. Paul says we should just give them a plate with aluminum foil wrapped on and handed to them, deliver it to them. DoorDash it.
That is exactly what Steve Rogers would have gotten from my cookout. Steve, you've been down with us. Appreciate you, bruh. You've always been cool with the fam. We decided to bring you a plate. Here's aluminum foil to keep it nice and warm and fresh for you. Enjoy. Just enjoy it over there.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, and again, guys, I'm like, okay, we knew that somebody was going to have something to say about this, which is why shout out to Marvel. And I'm just putting it out there. I need that my superhero is Black book. I need that like yesterday. Y'all need to make that happen. Call the Black Comic Lords. We'll help you out if you need some help. I'm just saying.
That's right.
Because I just want to upset a few more of them.
I got my first hater message today. I'm so proud.
Wow.
You leveled
that was pretty mean, though. That was pretty mean. What did you do to that person? Or what did they
said the truth.
Yes.
The next level for you, Angel, is when they do whole videos about you.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm praying for my first one this year.
It's like, wow, I've leveled up. Yeah, right. You crazy. So I'm going to the theater with a live Falcon on my show. Look, I'm gonna go to the theater. I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna go to the theater. I'm gonna go to the theater. I'm gonna have a dashiki on.
Of course, it's you.
Yeah, go have a dashiki on. You know, and hopefully it'll be a little warm, so I won't have to wear a shirt under it. But I'm going to the dashiki on with a little bit of V, a little V. So dashikis have a little V. You know what I'm saying? Pause. So going to the theater, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get there a little early so I can sneak in, you know, my barbecue chicken. You know, have some barbecue chicken. And yeah, I'm going full stereotype. I'm bringing my own 2 liter of big red soda water. And then
soda water.
Yeah, big red soda water. And you know what I'm saying? And if I take my girl, I'm gonna make her carry the big bag. So we have a nice big slice of watermelon.
Wow. I thought you were actually gonna say fried chicken, but okay.
I said barbecue chicken. I might sneak some fried chicken in there too. But this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do that, and then after all of that's gone, I'm gonna say, honey, hand me the cake. I'm a big nice slice of red velvet cake. Yes. And I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna watch Sam Wilson try to beat up the Red Hulk.
And
Oh,
people
boy.
around you are going to be like, "Why is it I just heard a can open of soda? There's nothing but soda fountains here.
No,
Why
it's a
is it I
2
hear-
liter, Paul.
Why is it
It's
that
a
I
2
hear
liter.
moving
Not a
walls?"
can soda. It's gonna be a 2 liter. I'm talking about the full 2 liter. And if I got some people on my road that look like me, hey man, I got some red soda water. Man, come on.
Yes. You bringing cups too, then? All right.
Yeah, and the person
got a
next to you be
couple
like,
of
"Yeah, I got a bottle of Henny. We can mix that up, man."
We had a couple of super chats go by.
All right, we got some super chats. Cassidy Kelly, sorry, but Cynthia isn't soft looking to play Storm. She looks like a witch and gay. What? Also, Jamie Lawson or Kiki Lane would be better, dark and beautiful. Kiki Lane would make an excellent Storm. I will agree with that.
You know what? You gave a super chat, but I ain't even tripping. Thank you.
Do the super chat. There was another super chat from Brother Man. What happened to character development?
Man, look, they haven't done character development on any character in years. And again, you know what I'm saying? Look, Marvel had this 10-year time frame where the stuff that they put out was flawless, right? Then they began to start smelling themselves. And they said, you know what? We can just go ahead and just throw some stuff at the wall and see if it sticks. So they were putting out crazy stuff.
For wondering, that 10-year time period was known as the Bendis years. But go ahead.
Yeah. And so they started just putting out any and everything without really fully thinking it through. And then they said, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to mix it up and we're going to race swap and we're going to gender swap. We're going to do all of this extra stuff instead of just focusing on the story. And, you know, what we got today is a stuffed, bloated, sick version of what used to be a pretty amazing thing. Now they said, hey, we gotta dial it back. We gotta do what they say, Paul, quality over quantity. And you know, first thing they do, they bring back Robert Downey Jr. They back up the Brinks truck, and he's supposed to be playing Doom or whatever. I don't know, but okay.
25% of the budget probably goes to him.
Yeah,
or more.
You know, so they're trying some new stuff, and that's fine. But I'm gonna be honest. I gotta see it, or I'll just believe it. Is the MCU back? I don't know. I will say this, and I brought this up on the last show. I think I saw Craven. Craven was not a bad movie. It was all right. It was all right for what it was. And so the Sony movies, I hate to say this, but the Sony stuff has been a little bit more entertaining than what the MCU has been putting out lately. Now, I know a lot of people, we just finished up the season of What If, and people saw Storm and got all hot and bothered until they watched it. And they were like, oh man.
Don't spoil it for me. I've watched it.
Wah. Yeah.
Let's give dude a stupid chat. And last but not least,
Bo Big.
Bo Big in the building. What up?
Thank you.
Man. Appreciate you.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Neon Optical says you're Marvel agnostic. No, I'm just really, bro. Look, I just see it for what it is. See, Paul, maybe you can relate to this. You see a girl that you like, you want her to like you, and you got things.
I can't remember that far back.
You got things on your mind and things you want to do, right? And you just got nothing but eyes for this girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells you that I just like you as a friend. She puts you in the friend zone. And you stay in the friend zone. And you just waiting for the day she either becomes vulnerable or when she finally sees you. But she never sees you. And it all comes crashing down when she shows you her engagement ring.
I'm feeling both triggered and attacked at the same time.
so
sounds like a whole lot.
Marvel has been that girl who has put you in the friend zone.
Yeah.
But you think she's going to at some point commit to you. But you're still in the friend zone. Recast T'Challa. Where's Blade movie? Where's Monica Rambeau? You in the friend zone.
Sounds like a lot of trauma.
That's actually an interesting term, Angel. As Marvel fans, can we do a class action lawsuit against Marvel Studios for traumatizing us with the lackluster outings that they have put out?
In the current court system run by the same people that agree with them, I don't know if that'll work.
I don't know.
Man, look, hold on. Time out. You know what? Let me tell you something. See, this is a black podcast with some black people on. We about to have a real black moment. Only black people can be given a funeral for a movie. Only black people. We went to the theaters to watch a funeral.
Yeah.
Not one funeral. Two.
Yeah.
Now, I'm trying to figure out on the Melanin Challenge side, whose funeral did we go to? We didn't go to but one funeral when it came, and we didn't even go to that. We was at the Recast, and that was Tony Stark. Everybody named Mama showed up at that one. You mean to tell me T'Challa, the king of the dead, the man who puts the spear where it belongs, didn't nobody come to the funeral?
Right.
Yeah. It was me.
Made no sense.
It was me. It was you, Angel. It was Paul. And every other person that went to spend money to see Wakanda Forever. We went to the theaters to watch a film. That's what we did. That's what Marvel did to us. And I don't care how many Marvel movies they put out with black characters. Marvel, you gonna take that L.
Well, Kanan White says Black Widow didn't get a funeral either, technically.
Well, you know, but she got thrown off. Well, she threw herself off.
She sacrificed to bring everybody back. She did
to bring everybody back.
Girl,
yeah.
She
nobody cares.
Suicide. She does not get to go to heaven.
And then when they did do a movie, no one went to go see it. Thanks, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
They brought Tony Stark back as something else, so funeral was void.
Yeah.
Collectively.
I mean, bro, that's the only listen, I don't think we understand. That was trauma on top of trauma on top of real trauma.
I'm with Brother Man. No body, no death. Nobody saw T'Challa's body, man. So
no, but we did see that big old mural that was in the movie. We saw that. I'm just saying, y'all.
Gamora didn't get a funeral.
No, she didn't.
But I mean, that kind of happened in the movies.
Nobody cared.
And guess what? Gamora, walked off screen and jumped in her Bugatti and went home.
Yeah.
That didn't happen with us. Chad was already gone. We didn't need to see that or be reminded of that again. Our man's T'Challa should have been on screen, recasted, another person playing the character. Point blank, period. But I brought that up because we're the only people they could have did that to. I ain't seen now white person cry at a movie theater.
I think you asking too much.
Angel, I'm an eternal optimist. That half cup is getting empty.
Historically, that is asking way too much.
I just black pain is currency in America. It is what it is.
Entertainment.
Entertainment. That's what it is.
Yes.
Entertainment.
Entertainment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Black Comic Lewis said that. Don't we please do? You know what? Get on the phone with management.
Ours.
That's ours now.
That's ours. Entertainment.
We're gonna have to hashtag that right away. Entertainment.
So yeah. We went through that though. We went through that collectively. I don't ever recall seeing any white person mourn the movie, and we mourned in the theater. I mourned when the day Chadwick died, I mourned him then. I mourned him for a couple of weeks after they funeralized him. Then I had to go back to the theater and be reminded that I mourned him again.
Mm.
I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. He said, did Marvel do that or did they okay it? I'm just saying. I don't know. All I know, Amir, is black folk. Our level. See, let's. We gotta go ocean floor deep.
There's the hashtag entertainment.
Our history in this country is and if there are any white people watching, you're about to be educated on something.
You can Google's free too. You can verify. You can double check.
You can
go to the library.
So our people historically in this country, whether we were slaves or after doing Jim Crow, they experimented on us. They did horrible things to black women to test the level of pain that they could take. The Tuskegee syphilis experiment. You know what? You know why the whole thing with Isaiah Bradley is such a big thing with us? Because he was the first black Captain America. But how he came to have the super soldier serum and what he went through after that, locking him up for over 30 years, experiment on his body. They did that for real. Doctors did all kind of experiments on black women. A lot of black women are afraid to go to the doctor and to the hospital now.
I'm gonna add, let me interrupt you, Rich. I'm gonna add, since we being serious, I am a third generation DES daughter. So that means my grandmother in North Carolina was one of the women the government injected with synthetic hormones in the hopes of sterilizing her. It didn't happen. So it passed down to my mother and her sisters, where we have medical issues pertaining to fertility. And it passed down to me and my sisters and my cousins. The government did that to us, and we still have no way to cover those medicals unless we have our own insurance. And there's a website that the government admitted to that, and we still have nothing.
Yeah.
That's
and see, so when some of these white guys that try to critique black art or black writing or the black experience, they really don't know how deep this really goes, which is why they're trying to whitewash history to now. But you know, I said this to Rodney Barnes when we interviewed him. We need writers like Rodney Barnes and others to write these stories and tell these stories, because at some point they're not going to be able to mention them in schools at all. Teachers are being fired for teaching the true history. Paul, you and Angel out in Florida. Black people out there in Florida say, you know what? It's so bad here, we are going to have school on Saturdays. So kids are going to schools or going to different community centers to learn about their histories on Saturday, because they can't get it Monday through Friday in the schools that they're in, because it's against the law. And they banned a gang of books. This is the history of this country. And here's the thing. I know some people say, can we talk about something more than race in our comic books or whatever? We could if that hadn't been our experience. We can't forget this stuff. As much as Paul, I messed with Paul about this. We talk about the rings of power, and Paul loves the fact that there's a black hobbit. You know what? And it's cool to see a black hobbit. But
it was a black elf, damn it.
A black hobbit or a black elf, it still sticks with me. It's like, is it really though? Can I trust this? And I get it, it's fantasy. But our life in this country, our journey in this country has been such to where in our art, this stuff shows up in our art. It just shows up because it's our experiences. And we trauma bond, unfortunately, because what has happened to us. Listen, Black people in this country, historically, all suffer from trauma.
Yep.
Now, y'all gonna find some right-wing guy to disagree or whatever, fine. Do what you gotta do. I just know what the history is.
You know, they say that when you go over to West Africa and you go to that fort, the last place where slaves were loaded onto ships.
Yep.
What do they call it? The port of no return or something like that?
Yes. The door of no return.
And they say when African Americans go visit that, it has like a effect where people have likened it to having racial memory. Like somehow they can feel the pain and the horror and the fear of their ancestors when they visit that place. Like it's something that can't be described. Yeah. Like this has consistently been the stories that people have said.
My pastor, he went to Africa. He went to Ghana. And he visited the slave dungeons. And in that door, the story that they told him was that, you know, you're in this room. There's no light in this room. And you're packed in there with sardines. And people are defecating on themselves in this place for months, waiting on ships to dock and take them away. That was part of they didn't just like capture these guys and they were on a boat like the next day. No, they sat in these small rooms, in these castles for months on end. And again, listen, the story, I just wish that, and it's not a wish, but I just hope at some point one day somebody decides to do, whether it be David Walker, Rodney Barnes, whoever, to do a real graphic novel on the history of the transatlantic slave trade. I promise you, a lot of us ain't ready for it. But these things that happen to us, they show up in the nuances of life in America. For example, we talk about Sam Wilson, the complexity of who Sam Wilson is. Whether you're talking about the comics, or whether you're talking about Falcon, or whether you're talking about him as Captain America, whatever, can he wear the shield? All of these things. Because guess what? Our people at some point decided that they bought in. They spilled too much blood, sweat, and tears to say, you know what? This is my home, and I'm going to stay here, and I don't care. I'm going to live. I am going to die if I have to. We have legitimate heroes in our family, if I can say it like that. Freedom fighters, things of that nature. There's a book getting ready to come out. Matter of fact, I don't know if you can bring it up, Paul, but they put out it's a book, a Marvel book, and it's going to be a bunch of essays based on Sam Wilson.
Yes. Yes.
That's getting ready to come out. That's going to be something. That's going to be something, because that story and the complexity in the two Americas that we live in, yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's going to get some hate from the dominant culture. There always is some of that.
Here's the book, Captain America: The Saga of Sam Wilson. Now it's
no. That's not it. That's not it.
Oh, that's not it.
That's not it. That's not it.
That was a different one.
It's a regular book. It's not a trade. It's a regular book, kind of like the Wakanda book. I mean, the Black Panther book, where they did the multiple essays or whatever. It's written in that fashion, in that form. I gotta look for it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
While you're looking for that, let me bring this up. Go ahead and look for that. Something that gets lost. You hear all these criticisms about the Sam Wilson issue and people focusing on the cookout. Some people are like, well, it's pandering so that people will buy the book because the rest of the book was trash. I mean, I have some of our own people say the book was trash. It was crazy. Having the one guy you're talking about say, yeah, Evan Narcisse is a hack. He's not a good writer. Understand. I love when a Black creator has an opportunity on a mainstream book to give us these moments that we talk about in our spaces all the time. When we share on social media, we all go on our Black Comic Lord Facebook page, and you see people posting up about, I love this superhero. No, I love this superhero. No, I love this superhero. Wouldn't it be great if we had this superhero interact with this superhero? Or wouldn't it be great if these 4 Black superheroes all formed a team and they hung out together? We post that all the time. Why is it a big deal when one of us says, you know what, that's a great idea. Let's put it in a comic book. And we have and it wasn't like the whole book was that. We're talking a couple pages, right?
Here's real quick, Paul. I'm going to stop you. Let me just give you the title of this.
One last thing. And people ignored this storyline that they put in this that actually is based on historical fact about Black farmers. I didn't know that. I'm ashamed. I did not know about that story about Black farmers. So at least that sparks your mind to say, here's something I didn't know about. Let me research that further. That's writing. That's writing with purpose, and that's writing with intent. Because there's going to be some kid someday that's going to read that story and like, I didn't know that. I learned something new. Other writers, there's some writers that aren't doing that. Not for us.
Yeah, the name of
how do you hate on something like that?
You don't. That's just ignorance. The name of the book is Captain America: The Shield of Sam Wilson.
Captain America, sure. Okay.
It's some short stories.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I have seen this. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's an anthology book.
Yeah.
Oh, it's written by one of the writers is Maurice Broaddus. Maurice Broaddus is a dude that we interviewed who did this book right here. Black Panther, T'Challa Declassified.
Yep.
Which is a fantastic book. If you're a Black Panther fan, you've got to own this book in your collection. If he is the writer of this, then that's a great project.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an anthology stories, basically short stories, but it's kind of written after like the Black Panther anthology book that Marvel put out. They're putting out this too. So I want to just kind of bring that up because, you know what I'm saying, these are short stories or whatever, but they're going to kind of like get into that bag of the complexity of being Black and also maybe perhaps being patriotic or perhaps carrying the shield, what that looks like. You know what I'm saying? So it's and I understand how some people feel that, you know, they want nothing to do with the stripe, the red, white, and blue. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But you almost deny yourself the history, the rich history, or if nothing else, the survival mode that our people have been in. To make it and to be here, this, it's there's a lot to this thing, and in the Black American experience particularly. But feel how you feel. You know what I'm saying? But I would challenge. Let's see. NYC Playboy 78 has the right thing. It says red, white, black. That's what it is. Was amazing. Read that story. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't read Captain America stuff.
Truth,
but you should read that. But you should read that. You know what I'm saying? If nothing else, read that. You know what I'm saying? That's the beautiful story. And a lot of people didn't like the art. I get it. Kyle Baker, crazy enough, Kyle Baker is one of the most talented artists there is. Why did he decide to do that book in that style? I do not know. But, he did. You know what I'm saying? For those who need a reference point, Kyle Baker's the one who also did the Nat Turner graphic novel, which is pretty dope. And the art in that is pretty amazing. So
the person who actually introduced me to Kyle Baker was actually Dennis Cowan. When I met him 35 years ago in college and we visited a comic book store together, he actually bought me a book by Kyle Baker called Why I Hate Saturn. It was a graphic novel that Kyle Baker done. And he said, if you want to go beyond comics, if you want to do real reading and see what comics could really be, read this. And he handed me that book, which I still have on the shelf over here.
Brother Man to you, he asked a question. He says, any of these Black comics or novels in Black History museums or what?
Yes. It's funny your name is Brother Man.
Evan and Brother Man, or Black Man, I should say, as well, are in the Smithsonian, right, Paul?
Yeah. Brother Man is in the African American Museum. Brother Man #1 is in the museum. I don't remember, is Black man also there?
I'm not sure if Black Man. I think Eben is though. I think Eben is
Brother
in
Man
there.
is definitely in the African American Museum.
Yeah. But shout out to my man DJ Big Phil who did his collections in blacks, getting ready to close in a few days. If you're in the Pittsburgh area, we encourage you to go by the August Wilson and check it out. You know what I'm saying? He's got an amazing collection of original art and comics. The people of Pittsburgh have been extremely blessed to have that much Black comic book and comic book art material on display. There's nothing like it. And hopefully my man can take his show on the road and it'll be in other cities. But yeah.
Reefer One says, rejecting the red, white, and blue flag doesn't deny Black folks anything. What it does is give the symbol of a historical context in its horde relationship to us. Well, you know, here's the thing. It's cool, you know, for people to say, you know, I hate the red, white, and blue flag and all it represents, which I get. When you talk about capitalism, imperialism, colonialism, apartheid in America, the flag has a lot of representations of that for a lot of people. I get that. But the other thing you kind of have to think about is the amount, the red in that flag is really comes from us, because Black people helped build America. Black people fought in every war in America. So to
the first person that died in the Revolutionary War was Black man, Christmas addicts.
Right. I mean, this country is African Americans' country, and I say this as someone who's an immigrant from family of immigrants. You know, African Americans have paid their due. That flag represents them too. In terms of their blood, sweat, and tears went into that flag. So it means all that other stuff, and I'm not trying to discount that at all. But in many respects, you paid for that flag in blood, or we paid for that flag in blood. So there's that too.
Yeah. I think also too that, you know, we have to see history, you know, through a sobering lens, but we also have to see it in a sense where, because our folks did this, that, and the third, or whatever, we are the example. We are the evidence of the survival, because all of this stuff was supposed to kill us. We're not supposed to be here. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And so we can feel out how we want to feel about the what the flag represents and this, that, and the third, but we survived everything. And we helped create and make this country a lot better. Somebody brought up Black inventors. Listen, you wouldn't have America without Black inventors. Whether we're talking about the refrigerator, the cotton gin, the stoplight, the cash register machine, whatever. Black engineers and ingenuity.
Artificial heart.
Yeah. All of these things that we've done, you know what I'm saying, in under these hostile conditions. Let's not forget about that. You know, so I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about, you know, Rosewood and what happened with a place like Rosewood. And everybody remembers Wall Street, right? Black Wall Street in Tulsa. But there are other cities where this destruction of Black towns happened. You know, and it's like we were trying to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. But when people saw that we were doing good, we were not only surviving, but we were thriving, they decided to destroy it. You know, And here's the thing: we can all feel a certain way, but the question is, are we going back home, or are we going to stay? And of course, we did find something that the he that trolls,
Captain Troll lot.
he got the red, black, and green.
Yeah, that looks good.
He probably went out to go get something to eat, and his wife beat her.
Actually, my
Wife
friend,
beater.
I'm working out.
He's working out.
I'm working out.
What's going on, Archie?
Man, not much, man. How's
We
everybody
just-
doing, man? How the hell are y'all?
We just talking history, comic books.
Listen, I got
that-
something. I got something I want to say.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I am so happy that Black Panther is allegedly, even the rumor looks very, very strong. It looks like it's gonna stick. I am so elated about that. Because not only will we get the return of the king, and I'm pretty sure majority of us are gonna like who they're gonna cast. Majority of us are going to. There's gonna be a small minority that's gonna turn over tables like Jesus, and that's okay too.
That might be me.
But at least the rest of these black superheroes out here ain't gonna get spit on and spat on out of spite for a non-recast. So we're gonna have peace in the city and we're gonna have peace in the field. All right, say amen when you can. I'm just glad. I hope they get this confirmed so we can just go back to the way things were before Chadwick met it. Everybody was happy. We were on the up and up. And that's where I want to get back to.
Let me first give you props, Herschel, for working out and talking at the same time.
I'm just tired listening. You working out for all of us.
Give them some oxygen. But no, I mean, look, we're if it happens, I'm not from Missouri, but I'm a fold my arms like I am from Missouri, the Shelby State, and they got to show me. You know what I'm saying? It's a rumor. It's a strong rumor. It may in fact be a ring of truth to it, but I got to see it before I just 100% jump in and be like, yeah, because I think we all want the recast. We want it done yesterday, but we'll see. We'll see.
I have the same attitude they had when they said Donald Trump was nowhere he's going to win the presidency. He's going to prison. What did I say? We'll see.
You know what? Shout out to the Teflon Don. Because they bulletproof. And you know what's funny? January 6th was just a couple of days ago. And that was largely a yawn. Because,
I completely forgot about it. Is he officially president now? Is he signed?
No, they hadn't had the inauguration yet. Funny thing is, here's something to make you laugh. There's a controversy going on right now. An HBCU school was invited to go to the inauguration of Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, I heard about
Gotta have some tokens there somewhere.
And so some people were calling out the HBCU school and calling to protest and calling. I'm like, okay.
I bet you the HBCU school was a state school, and you have to recognize the fact that many HBCU schools are not completely private. They rely on government funding.
Yep.
So when the government says come a running to go,
to be fair,
president,
yep.
You don't
really
have any options.
He did fund HBCU schools his first term. I'm just saying, he did. One of the few things
only caveat here is that they got to pay their own way. That's the only thing I heard. They got to pay for everything. And people are saying they ain't gonna help them raise no money to go.
Yeah.
That's why I went to the other HBCU in Oklahoma, the last HBCU to the west, and not Mississippi Valley State. But no shade to my Mississippi Valley State alums. But yeah, Langston, we never would have did that.
I mean, you know, again, it's like I said. Me personally, I don't think that if someone was to invite me, it's the inauguration. Okay, now is the guy that's taking the office problematic? Yes. Will there be lots of security? Yes. Is that a good look for your school? I don't know, to Herschel's point. But again, if somebody invites you to something like that, you know, it's hard to say no to that. But at the same time, it's not as easy to say yes either, because it's complicated. But here's the thing: I brought January 6th up because this guy has said that he's going to pardon the people that stormed the Capitol.
Some of them are in prison.
Yes.
There are.
Yeah. But he's going to pardon them. So I don't know. It is so funny too, because there is a lot of stuff going on before this guy has actually took office. I mean, it's a hot mess. It is a hot mess.
I don't want to think about it too much.
That's why I'm going to drink my water and read my comic books.
Yeah.
And
stack
mind my business. Mind my business. Be like,
but let me say this though. Let me say this. It is, and I want to be careful how I say this. If this was funded by them, I'm pretty sure somehow, some way, they're probably going to get some sort of kickback, maybe just on a national level, and I get that. A lot of HBCUs are struggling. We already saw Morris Brown get shut down a couple years ago. There's been several others. I don't think this is even the first time that an HBCU has been asked to do something like this.
No,
I don't have that data in front of me. But I will say this, as far as HBCUs goes, that's on us as far as the financial piece in the state, because they don't always, like Tennessee State right now is like having to really like they just got, I think, $9 million more that they needed because they had to lay off a bunch of teachers, a bunch of staff. But like at TSU, when I was leaving high school, they were the cream of they were like FAMU, Howard, TSU, not TCU, TSU. They were the cream of the crop. So a lot of these HBCUs are struggling. So they're going to have to make a decision. I'm not going to excommunicate them if they decide to go. They're going to have to figure that out. I mean, they're going to get some backlash, but if they go, they go.
I mean, again, it's here's the thing: with HBCU schools, unfortunately, do not have the alumni support that they need. Black folks, I'm gonna just say it.
Kind of like the comic books. Kind of like comic books, huh?
They get their degrees and they go home, get in bed with the white girl, corporate America, and don't look back. You know, a lot of these predominantly white institutions, as they call them, PWIs, they have a loyal alumni who contribute money, and even when they pass away, they put it in their will that certain funds are to go to this college or to this university. But with us, go to college, we get the full experience, right? Homecoming. If you wanna pledge, you got that. And then we leave and we don't go back. My father went to Texas Southern University, and he would get letters every year from the alumni asking him to support and send money. And it's kind of unfortunate, but that's what they had to do to survive. Because again, we don't support our own institutions. We don't
have
support our own comics.
But we're getting
got
some
super
support
chat.
from the fan base. Thank you for your super chat.
Couple of super
Isn't the White
chats.
House considered treason?
Yes.
I don't want to talk about that. I really don't want to talk about that.
But you're going to have a president who had 34 felonies and got impeached twice. Pardon him. So hey. Fatal, you wrong. You out of line. Shout out to he's a cool historical play.
First appeared in 1966, months before the Black Panther Party movement, founded in October 5th, 1966 in Oakland. Side note, T'Challa would have been A5A. Recast T'Challa. Is that a fact?
No. Sorry, Frat. He definitely would have been A5A. He wouldn't have pledged his fraternity at all. T'Challa, no.
Hold on. You mean to tell me Luke Charles wouldn't find his way down to black and gold?
No. I mean,
wow.
I know that's hyperbole.
Let me make sure I record this so I can send it to your fraternity and have them say that you declared. Herschel Lewis declared T'Challa would never have pledged A5A.
And that's not
a shade
to that's not shade to A5A. But look at how T'Challa was moving in the 60s and 70s. He was like, T'Challa was like, he was not like, he got with the Avengers to spy on him. But T'Challa has one eye on Wakanda, which is
don't blaspheme my dude. Don't blaspheme.
Okay, listen. I'm not. This ain't got nothing to do with his lack thereof.
My dude.
No. This ain't got nothing to do with his lack thereof. Hear me out. T'Challa had to keep one eye on Wakanda.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
He had to keep one eye on Wakanda because when he came back home, what was M'Baku doing, right? He had that going on. Now, granted, he went to college before he actually debuted. They showed later in Avengers 87, 78, the origin.
He was educated in Europe, though, right?
He was educated in Europe.
He was
now Europe does have fraternities and sororities, but he could have always just came back as well and pledged maybe a grad chapter. But T'Challa is kind of above that. He doesn't need to be a part of a fraternity. Nah. And guess what else he did? Remember, he stopped calling himself Black Panther to disassociate himself with the Black Panther Party, and he was specifically saying there's no shade to them, but Black Panther is a mantle to my own. I don't want that to be misconstrued with nothing else. I think he was straight where he was at. I think he would have admired King. I think he would have admired the alphas or whatever. But nah, he wouldn't have. I couldn't see him doing it.
Angel. Hey, what you got? What you got in that tank behind you?
Her snakes. Hold on. I didn't do my super chat video. Hold on. Thank you, Fatal.
What's in the tank?
I have a albino California king. He's sleeping right now, though.
Okay.
Albino California what?
King snake.
I knew it was a snake.
Oh wow. Ain't never come to your house.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I listen. I like snakes.
I put a picture of him in our admin chat. If Paul, you want to grab it?
Okay.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if we can figure out how to do that. Give me 1 second.
Let me see. I didn't know you like snakes like that.
When Paul learned this the other day. When I was little, I was part of the Reptile Society.
Okay.
My godmother would take me to the American History Museum, and we would meet and figure out. Our focus in my group was diamondback terrapin turtles, and we would go around to the different pet shops, and rehabilitate them, and then let them out to the different areas where they're supposed to be out in the wild instead of in captivity.
Okay. We got our own what's the guy's name? Steve Wilkes in the building.
Hey, let me say something else too.
What you got, Herschel?
I'm gonna close up the whole fraternity thing real quick, real fast. Also, I have to say this first with a wink, wink. Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated is not a pledging hazing organization, but imagine if he would have went through the rituals that they do with the Divine Nine. He would have been like, "I'm gonna let somebody else give me some wood. I'm gonna go to school and I'm go through all those rituals." He would have literally laughed.
Are we supposed to be talking about that?
Listen, he would have literally laughed.
You know what?
So,
I don't like the way this conversation is going. I don't want the black and gold at our doorstep.
they ain't come to your doorstep.
Can we talk about comics?
We can talk about comics. I just wanted to put
about that.
I just wanted to put
I'm not even a member of the fraternity.
No,
I get the feeling you're not supposed to be talking about that.
Because you're not a member of a fraternity, you don't really have an idea what I
No.
Oh wow.
Listen,
we're gonna move on.
Boosie wore an alpha shirt. Boosie wore an alpha shirt to a basketball game because he wanted to match his outfit, and they jumped him for real. Okay,
can y'all see?
That's a nice size snake too.
He's 10 years old. He's a year older than my dog.
Oh,
I've had him since he was a little hatchling. Like he was real tiny.
okay. What's the snake's name? I know he has a name.
His name is Biney.
Biney? Oh, that's so sweet.
He's good. He's a good boy.
Okay. All right, Herschel, I need you to go on mute because your machine is between you breathing in that machine.
Mute yourself. King snakes eat other snakes.
They can. Yeah.
So what do you feed it?
Oh, he's on rats and sometimes mice.
Wow.
Angel a gangster for real.
I wasn't gonna say it in the live like that.
So I know I mess with you for some reason, Angel. Angel real out here in these streets.
Oh man, all these alphas are starting
not
to
squeamish at all. I ain't mad at that. Yeah, that's dope. So what are you guys reading? What are you guys reading?
Well, we can talk about the books that came out this week.
Oh, I do want to show one thing that I didn't show last time because I didn't have it yet.
Okay.
Oh, someone's got a mail call.
Mail call.
Hero. Why does that sound familiar? Is that magazine?
Yes.
Okay, with the Kevin Grievous.
Yep. So when I see Kevin G, he gonna have to sign this. But this is really it's about comic book size and it's really thick. Really nice paper. There's an article with Kevin G, but it also has Ernie, what's his name from Ghostbusters?
Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, Ernie Hudson. It's a really good read on Ernie Hudson, and it's just the way it's designed and everything, and the paper smells good too. But this is well done. So Sun Hero Comics, that's a shout out.
Shout out to them.
Are we in the magazine?
No, but we should be because I just brought it up.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frustrated Sid brings up Freddy the Fix. That was an interesting read. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, great, Freddy the Fix.
Oh yeah, I got that. There was two covers to that,
that's
right?
one of them. If John Constantine were a black dude,
a black British dude,
fixing stuff. Yeah, he fixes a lot of stuff.
All right, so let's take a look at what came out this week. Let's start with what did not come out this week.
Yeah, man, Marvel and DC is on one. They got delays.
No, I was referring to Epiphany Engine.
Oh, sorry about that.
That has a delay.
Unfortunately, Epiphany Engine did not come out this week. All of us fans are disappointed. But Tony Cottrell assures us that it is coming. I don't remember the date he said. Does anyone remember that? What is slated to come out now?
He didn't say. He
That's
said
the cover I ordered. That's Eric Battle's cover. I cannot wait.
He said that in essence that they were meeting and that they will have a concrete date. They would announce it soon. But he's fully aware that people were expecting, and that's interesting that comes out in the solicits. Man. But anyway, it's on the way.
Supposed to come out today.
It was in the solicits today?
It was supposed to come out today.
Oh, supposed to come out today.
But
long as they don't,
least,
you know what? I was about to say something. Yeah. Forget about it.
Yeah.
At the very least,
I don't want to upset nobody.
I love this Tim Fielder cover.
That's dope.
Our writer artist on Infinitum, Maddie Rocket. It's a beautiful art.
Frustrated says, "Well, I thought it wasn't supposed to come out until Juneteenth of this year. It might be Juneteenth when it comes out."
A lot of people were saying that. A lot of people were thinking that was a Juneteenth.
The Kickstarter, I think, started Juneteenth last year.
Yeah.
That's what that.
Here's our unofficial Black Comic Lords cover. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't care. I'm claiming it.
Anyway, all right. That's enough teasing people, Paul. Let's move on.
Let's move on. What else came out? Let's go back here. Excuse me. All right. So there's these. Have you guys ever picked up these books? These Marvel Verse books? They're like compact trade paperbacks, which kind of like they're geared towards new readers and getting new readers acclimated to a character. So I have like a Miles Morales one. There's one for like Ironheart. This is the first one that I recall seeing on Captain America, Sam Wilson. So it collects, his all Avengers first issue, and for 1 through 3, Generations, Sam Wilson, Captain America, and Steve Rogers, and material from Marvel's Voices. The idea is to create trade paperbacks as introductory material for newer readers. I thought that was a good idea on Marvel's part. I think it's also tends to be kind of more younger skewed. So kind of investing in the future. So I thought it's a good idea.
I hope one of these days, and hopefully DC is successful, but take these mini trade paperbacks, put them in the 7-Elevens, put them in the Dollar Tree, put them back in the Walgreens. Because guess what? If you're trying to get younger readers in there, they ain't at a lot of these guys, especially these black kids, they're not at the comic shops unless they get a ride. But coming home from school, stopping by a gas station, I know, that's distribution. You got to work out deals, but which one do we put? But we got to go back to just the basics, and that would really, really be a push. I know we've been saying that for years, but they got to do it. DC them put it in the Dollar Tree. Yeah, they're basically the overstocked books that they trying to get rid of, but somebody might pick that up. So.
Oh, they'll get purchased because that's the old school original way comic books were out, where you would go to the grocery store, the newsstand, and the comic books were just right there, and you're like, "Oh, this looks interesting."
You know what's here's something, guys. This is fly in the point. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Maybe you do. But people today are not reading books. I watched the podcast and they talked about Harvard and other Ivy League schools have students who do not and cannot read a book. They can read, but as far as opening up a 300-page book to read it, they can't. They don't have the discipline and they don't have the muscle to read like we have. We read, small booklets when we were in school, right? But we had to read novels. We had to read Shakespeare.
It's an attention
These kids
span
are,
issue.
yeah,
It's an
these
attention
kids
span issue.
are reading things, but they're just reading them on their tablets and on their phones. But
I don't blame them. I hate to say that, but when we were coming up, the only way you were going to get your Huckleberry, I think everybody had to wear Huckleberry Finn. It was certain books you had to read and through grade school. You had to read them. The only way you were going to know that book is you had to read it, or maybe go to the library and get lucky. You go to TikTok now. You can go to YouTube now. You can have it. There's so much accessibility to audio. Hear these things that people are like, I ain't wasting my time sitting there reading nothing no more. So I don't blame them, but I do kind of think it sucks. It's going to hurt them in the long run when they sit at a desk and read a bunch of documents.
Well, that's the thing. They're being not only is the technology to blame, but they're being taught this way as well. The way people are being educated, people are being educated to pass tests. They're not educated to be educated. They're literally learning just how to pass a test. My wife is a teacher. She is a reading specialist, and she specializes in dyslexia and other learning disabilities. These kids today, a lot of them cannot read. And I'll do you one better. A lot of them cannot write as well. As a pastor at a church who works with children, I'll ask them to write something, or one of the teachers will ask them to write something. And you're literally on the struggle bus to figure it out, what they're trying to say. Asking us how to spell fundamental letters. There's certain words that a kid is supposed to know by the time they reach second grade. These kids are in 5th, 6th grade and can't even read on a 3rd grade level. It's bad, child. It is really bad. And I bring that up in regards to comics and that kind of thing is because it used to bother me that comics are so brief and comics don't really have no depth to them. Now I'm kind of understanding why. Because what good is it to have someone like Jonathan Hickman or Rodney Barnes when he's in his bag to write a book that's 32 pages and people can barely comprehend them? It's kind of rough, bro. I'm sorry to
comment from Fatal. Got a program that I started. Children grades 4 to 8 have to read a comic and then do a book report. Reward a trip to C2E2. Where is this class and what? How can I sign up?
Salute. Shout out to you, Fatal. That's dope. That's dope.
That's mad.
And, it's crazy though. But I saw a meme where they were talking about Gen X, not Gen X. They were talking about Generation Alpha, Gen Z, and the whole thing was, if you want to confuse them, because they put it off like they know everything or whatever, right? All you gotta do is just write everything in cursive, because they don't know how to write in cursive at all. And it's kind of, the technology has driven everything, and so I get it. You know what I'm saying? It, like to Herschel's point, everything's on TikTok, but it does not. If the technology, all of us, let's say the lights go out, then what are you going to do? Because I am a analog guy in a digital world. I like physical books. I don't like books on my tablet. And that's the way people collect comics today. And do your thing, do you? But it's nothing like having a book in your hand, and I feel. But we talk about putting these books in 7-Eleven, put them in Dollar Tree and Family Dollar and all these different places, right? But the question is, will they sell? Because if these kids are struggling, then are you going to have the same thing happen? When Walmart put DC Comics and Marvel Comics in their stores, you know what happened? They didn't get new readers. The collectors, old farts like me and Paul, went into those stores and grabbed all of those books.
Well, the ones that had keys in them.
I still got that Walmart, I can't say his name, Black Panther run with the black, Paul might have this too, the John Ridley run. I know we're not supposed to say his name. But the Walmart had a variant. It's the only one, the number one, but the words were in black instead of white or blue. And I bought that one just for but yeah, and it was doing well. I don't see those books in there anymore. I think after the spec era died out,
they got away from it.
Books start stacking up. I don't think people start going in there anymore. But they have some keys in it.
Walmart doesn't even do that no more. They're not carrying the books no more.
No, they're not.
And it's kind of sad too, because I remember when Nubia came out. A couple of months after Nubia came out, some of the Nubia books start showing up in Walmart. And so I thought that was a good thing at the time, because I was like, okay, some new readers will get exposed to Nubia. But Walmart's not even carrying comic books anymore. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, there's some horror stories, y'all. Damon Watson says, in court, I tried to have a client sign a document, and he literally did not know how to write a signature because he was confused by cursive.
That's sad.
It's where we live in, bro. That's why, I'm going to ask Herschel this. Herschel, do you think comics is dying?
You're asking the wrong dude. That guy's Mr. Negativity.
I am going to ask the sobering reality. Listen, I call myself Black Pill. No, Herschel is the blackest.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna give you. Do you want a Paul White answer, or do you want a?
That's not my name, but go ahead.
No, I want a Herschel answer. What
happened, man?
You good?
Am I back?
We're looking at you.
Yeah, you ain't left.
Take it off my
You said he ain't left.
Now he's frozen.
It's all that negative energy.
They say the algorithm won't even let him answer.
Listen, maybe this is God telling me to not say what I was gonna say. No, but listen. You asked me, is comics dead?
Yes.
What was it? Somebody told me the hobby was fine, but the comics are I don't know. The comics are dead. The hobby's fine, or something like that. It's two different things. Comic books are not dead because you got tons of Golden Age books that are doing well.
Right.
Oh, they eating. They ain't stop eating. And they don't. What happens with Golden Age books? The movies don't determine how well they do. It depends on who you are. Modern books. I think we're going to have to see. I call this the post-endgame phase, the post-COVID. Like, we're not in that COVID run anymore. Now you just got the comic book readers out here. The variant chasers, they've kind of got burnt out. They're selling off a lot of their stuff. And, as we see, the middle class is shrinking. People are having to think, do I buy this loaf of bread for $5 or do I buy Sam Wilson, Captain America? So I think we got to give it some more time. I think we got to give it another, it's going to sound crazy, I think we got to give it another 5 years. I will tell you this much. If the movies have at least a very 1 year of just some strong films, I think we will be fine. But if this year, with James Gunn and what Marvel has to offer, if it continues to kind of be shaky, but more leaning onto the it wasn't that good side of the world, Deadpool and Wolverine isn't going to matter anymore, and we're going to be cooked. This is going to be a very important year because this year DC is back. Marvel is trying to kind of refresh and bring us something new. The movies, I know you asked me about comics, but the movies really have a lot to say how well a lot of these comics are doing. Because believe it or not, the readers are the 35. Well, the readers are the 35 and up, like my man Damon Watson said. They are the older crowd, but we are very, very few in numbers. When you talk about specifically black books, good luck. But when you talk about comics as a whole, I think right now they're okay. Now the numbers the numbers come out every year. How well in 2022, 2023, and I think by February or March we'll see all the. I think what is it called? Comictron. They give it out every year. Where the books looking like in the last couple of years, it's been on a steady incline. And as long as we're there, we're fine. If we get a
But
recast, we're going to see a huge explosion
okay,
in these spaces.
real quick.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. And I think I appreciate what you just said. But here's the problem. Shout out to brother man for the super chat.
Hold on, let
He
me
said,
give him
bring
the super
that
chat video.
comics. Now, here's what I want to bring up, Herschel. Frustrated just said it. The price of books are no longer budget friendly. Now, if when 47 takes office, there's a chance that tariffs are going to be in place and these books are going to go up another $1 or $2. It's I'll put it like this here. I don't mind buying a comic book if it's $5. But when that comic book goes $5.99, $6.99, $7.99, I got a problem. And I'll be honest, if Marvel books go up any higher than they are, and they're very high, I might have to just get Marvel Unlimited and call it a day.
Okay, log off, man. Log off.
I'm just saying, bro.
Log
Log
off.
off. Log
I'm
off.
just saying because
You're on the wrong channel,
again,
man.
what to you, your point? You said it, Herschel. If a man is making a decision, I gotta put bread in the house, or I'm gonna buy this comic book.
Okay, let me ask you a question. And it's going to be this might be a little corrosive, but I got to say it anyways.
He said corruption.
We're just going to talk about black comics for right now.
Okay, here
Majority
we go.
of the people that talk
Hold
the
on,
loudest.
Perfect, real quick. Hold on.
I don't have a disclaimer.
Look. No. I'm just gonna ask the people that are with us, please hit the like button, and please do not leave us after Herschel says what he said. Go ahead, Herschel.
Listen. Most people, when it comes, and I don't have a problem with it because they're black characters. You know, this is a black comic. I know people buy Superman, Batman, but listen, when it comes to black characters, the four, I call them the four: Black Panther, Storm, Blade, and Miles. Those books are going to come off the shelf. Blade, depends on what's going on. He could be a little funny. Storm, the wind blows out of her sails after about issue 6 or 7. If you ain't got something cooking, they're going to abandon and go back to who should be Storm in the movie. Black Panther fans are going to ride the horse all the way through, whether I write the book or John Ridley or Hutton. So I'll give it to them. Miles fans are black, white, purple, green, and brown. So are Blades fans. But I'm going to tell you this is the corrosive part. If you know that your pull list is pretty thin, and for the most part, you know, and what most black characters, we're just talking black characters. you're going to pick up an issue of Black Panther. You're going to pick up the issue of Storm, because those books currently have ongoing series, right? I don't believe Blade does. Miles. So let's call it 6. Well, I don't want to call it 666. Let's call it 5, 5, and 5. That's $15. I don't want to say if you can't afford $15 a month, because Netflix is going up. They're them more than $15 in your subscriptions. I get that. I say pick 4 or 5 titles that you know that you can support and leave it at that. Every now and then, if something gets hot over here, but at least commit maybe no more than 3 or 4 titles. Maybe if you got multiple.
Well, what about it's going to get sticky, Paul. What about the Black independent comic books?
Same
What
thing.
about
Do you really want to tell Sebastian to just get Miles of T'Challa? Sebastian's like, what about Niobe? Tony Cottrell is what about Titan?
right?
Rodney Barnes is like,
using those 4.
What about Philadelphia?
Are the 4 that if you post their name, people are going to run and they're going to get the most engagement. That's no shade to Stranger Comics. That's no shade to Tony Cottrell. They get that too. But we know for certain for decades that Black Panther, we'll just stay right there with Black Panther. We know that folks are going to, that comes out once a month. And you actually got 2 titles right. You got the Ultimate Black Panther as well. Mm-hmm. So I would say you might not have a Richard or Paul pull list that's about that big. And you spending about $300 a month. And that's okay. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't do that. Did somebody send me some money?
You got like balloons. You got a party in your garage.
No, I don't know where that came from. I think Paul did that. He played.
I don't even know how to do that.
I don't know. I've never seen that before. I've never seen nobody do that on here before. But listen, just stick to a couple titles, grab you some indie books and call it a day. But you need to balance your subscriptions. And you don't have to think about pre-ordering, because so what if you go to the store? We've talked about that. So what if you go to the store? Oh, I'm supporting. Look, I bought a Miles. I bought a Stranger Comics. I bought a Total book. But if you're not pre-ordering, then the comic has no way of knowing unless he walks by and says, "Oh crap," or people calling up there and saying, "Hey, do you still got XYZ?" Then he's like, "Okay, I need to order some more." But that's after the fact. You want to get on it a month or 2 in advance. Yeah, good luck to the Sam Wilson Captain America book. Good luck, because man,
let me ask you a question.
That book so
we got. Now here's the thing. I've kind of made the decision. Should I say this?
Okay.
I need another disclaimer. Gosh darn it.
No. It's not. No. Well, you know what? Go ahead and run the disclaimer.
Oh, that's never a good sign. That's literally never a good sign.
I don't think the disclaimer's gonna help.
Just go.
Yeah, fair and collecting. I did get that shade. He didn't acknowledge Black Lightning. That's a cardinal sin. But what I was gonna say was, I don't know if I'm getting issue 2 of Sam Wilson, Captain America.
Why not?
Because, well, I really want Falcon to be Falcon. But he's Cap, and so now, are we going to get stories with Josiah and Isaiah? Absolutely. And you think we are?
No, yes. Next issue has to do with Josiah.
Josiah, yes, but not Eli and not his dad. His dad might just be sitting there. Remember, Isaiah can't speak. His brain has really deteriorated. He didn't speak in the his own issue. He didn't talk until when he was an old man. So you ain't gonna get nothing out of him. Thank God for MCU.
You'll want to
Yeah.
get issue 2 because Josiah X will be in it.
I might stick around for the second issue, but when I read issue 1, I wasn't really just on fire like that for. I mean, it was cool for what it was, but I literally treated it almost as a one-off. And again, I'm not saying that it won't be a successful book, but to Herschel's point about the movie, I'm gonna go to the theater, but ooh, Lord, I hope this movie's good, because if this movie is trash, we got to hear about that the whole summer. Because what's coming?
For years.
What's coming? When is Thunderbolt supposed to come out?
April or May, something like that, and it doesn't look good.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. How many self-titled black superhero movies has Marvel made?
2.
1, actually.
One. Yeah, one. Definitely 2. Technically,
it was a trick question. The answer is 1, which is Black Panther. Wakanda Forever had nothing to do with Black Panther. If Shuri truly was Black Panther, they would have just called it Black Panther 2. And they didn't call her. They didn't call it that.
But they're calling the third movie Black Panther 3. So in theory, you can't have Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, then Black Panther 3. So
yes, but they could have called it Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, or Black Panther 2, Shuri Forever, or something like that. They didn't do that. They would have hung him as Wakanda Forever. There's been one self-titled black superhero movie Marvel's ever done in its 15-year history. This will be the second. Now, what do you think will happen? What will be the incentive for Marvel to make another black superhero self-titled movie if this one flops? Because understand, they did not anticipate the numbers and the reaction they got with the Black Panther movie. That movie
I think though, but see, here's the thing about that though. I think that the problem with that logic, I would say, and it's, technically, they would have had another movie if they just knew how to write a doggone script, and that's Blade. We were already supposed to be in the middle of talking about how good the Blade movie was.
You're making my point for me,
or how bad it was.
You're making my point.
Yeah. Well, see, what I'm getting at though is to say that I don't think this is Marvel's problem. Even though it is their company, I think that they are Disney. I honestly believe Disney is messing with the formula. Disney is the Jerry Jones of comic books.
Watch out.
You're overthinking my point. Damon Watson, my fellow attorney, understands what I'm talking about. Black Panther, Ironheart, Armor Wars never happened. Black Blade never happened. Secret Invasion, not a movie centered around Nick Fury, was a waste. Like, these black properties aren't happening. Everything they announced they were going to do because they're riding the curtails of the Black Panther movie saying, hey, we can cash in on black superheroes, they canceled. Blade is a no-brainer movie to be successful. They can't get that movie done. So what do you think the reaction will be if this movie comes out and it's a flop?
It's not going to be good.
You think these other properties...
You know the simple answer? You know the simple answer to this, that when you say it, people just ignore it. But I'm gonna say it a lot more this year. Walt Disney, Marvel Comics has never and will never be a black entertainment company. They are doing exactly what they're supposed to do with who they got this side of my hand in that office. And guess what? And they should be able to do that. However, if we, and here we go with if we take our money and support our own, we don't need none of that stuff because we got enough. We got a whole suitcase.
Tyler Perry should use his Tyler Perry Studios, which is good enough for Marvel to rent to make their movies, and support some Black-owned properties. And
all right, okay. Stop. Time out. Let's talk about this for a second. Because Vandolph the Black just said it. We need to make our own, right? You just said it, Paul.
Yeah.
All right. So my question is this. Let's say we made our own.
Uh-huh.
All right. What gets made first? It's got to be our own now. It can't be somebody else's property.
Oh,
Got to be our own.
Stuff? What's our strongest IP that's out there right now that is translatable to a movie?
Static.
That ain't our own.
Is that our own?
How's it not our own?
I'm asking you. Is everything about that our own? No. Rich is laughing, but Rich is laughing. But here's what I'm saying. If let's say I'm wrong and that's true, and that's 1,000% okay. What's the barrier right now to getting us to do that? Because we have to go through DC. So we probably should just leave that, put that on the board. So then what's the next one?
I thought Niobe was already on the table to be discussed to be made into a movie.
It is
another one. Niobe's another one. In fact, Stranger Comics' whole fantasy realm, all of what he's doing,
beautiful. Yeah,
it's ripe to be successful if properly promoted.
I think
and also Black Sands.
Black Sands. They get away with the animation, yeah.
Watch this. Look who owns the Weather Channel. He's got all the money. What's his name? He was trying to buy
Byron Allen.
Now, Tyler Perry got the studios. No, you don't need. You can produce some things, but you don't need to direct. You don't need to write, and he doesn't want to. You see what he's making right now.
50 Cent. 50 Cent has a movie thing in Louisiana, right?
Yes. He just bought one.
And he's more comic book friendly than Tyler Perry.
I don't know if he's comic book friendly because he's talked to Trillville. He was supposed to be with Priest with his other thing. None of those things are true, but it doesn't mean he's not friendly, and I get what you're saying. But 50 be saying a lot of stuff, man. 50's just a troll, and 50, he's just not. I don't trust him. He speaks on something. I just don't trust. I don't trust his follow through.
How? I mean, the dude is responsible for power.
And look
that was Star's biggest thing.
But look what that represented. Yep. Look what that represented. That represented the worst.
I get it. I'm just saying that that's just one guy. But legitimately, we know about Stranger Comics. 1 in 100 podcast brings up the antagonist, Godhood Comics. That's another one. Because, and the reason why I bring this up or want to like kind of talk about it is because let's legitimately look at this, because again, I wrestle with this divestment from Marvel and DC all the time because I want to see something big.
We're not asking you to.
I know. I'm just saying that I wrestle with that because I want something big and significant to usurp Marvel and DC. Because I feel like they've had these properties for so long, and it takes so long for us to get what we want. Like, for example, Brandon Thomas's Black Lightning book is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. And I'm looking forward to reading the next issue. I'll take it back. I'm looking forward to y'all reading the next issue. When that comes out, bro, it's going to be on like popcorn. That was a good listen. Don't
getting
sleep
back on DC. We getting back on DC.
No, but
What
what I
about
bring
indies?
that up because, again, it's like, okay, Paul brought up Static. I would love Static to get made into a movie. In fact, of all the milestone stuff, that has to be made into a live action.
Has to.
It has to be made. If they don't take the steps to get Static to the big screen, then respectfully, Shadow Cabinet and anything that comes down the pike after this was a waste. That has to happen. Now, will it happen? I don't know. But it has to happen for it to really blow up like it needs to. Because to me, Milestone is late to the party. I say this all the time about Miles Morales. And I love Miles. But respectfully, Miles is in Virgil's spot.
Here we go.
And no, that's
You've been riding this Virgil thing for decades.
That is the truth. I'm going to listen. I got my flag. I'm down on that hill.
Eating all of Virgil's cereal every month.
That's right. In the kitchen, eat all the food, all the donuts.
Wow! In front of Static's face. You know what? I'm gonna say something. In front of Static's face.
Robot voice.
I keep seeing, and this is no offense to folks in the chat, but this like Richard's song about Virgil and Miles, he sings that song fine. We keep singing the same song about Disney doesn't want to invest in black characters. Disney doesn't want Disney, and Disney knows that they don't have to, because we're not going to invest in each other enough to propel and say, you know what? We can make our own stuff. So Disney knows, like, we'll make a Black Panther when we damn ready to make a Black Panther, because y'all not going to invest in each other. Y'all going to only just blame us, but y'all not going to pick up a nail and hammer and build your own and then run with it.
Let me ask you a question. And I want you to think about this critically before you answer it. Why did Black Panther do what it did? Sell $1.4 billion.
Whoa. Wait. We just can't jump from what I just said that never gets addressed back to a mainstream. This is part of the situation.
So in theory, a mainstream, an independent can't do what a mainstream can do. Know what you're saying?
I believe it can. I don't think collectively, corporately, we think it can.
What's two of the most successful three of the most successful superhero properties of last year? Critically, I mean, not in terms of money, but in terms of quality.
Movies or comics?
I'll tell you. I'm talking about television movies. The Boys.
Invincible. The Boys.
Supercell. None of those were Marvel or DC. Those were independent projects, and they did well.
Very well.
Critically and financially. Why? Because they were good. They were good. And Supercell had black folk in it.
They were the leads in it. It's beautiful.
Right?
And let's not even talk about Ripper. Ripper is an anomaly in the Matrix, because he just got through selling what was it, 75,000?
It's not a matter of Marvel won't invest in black folk, because they have done stuff with black folk. It's a matter of people have to support it. Marvel and Disney is about money.
It's always about money.
But the money goes to what is good, what the people want. You got to put out a better project.
So Paul,
Sam
to
Jackson
your point,
had a project. He had Secret Invasion. Sam freaking Jackson, he's a megastar, and they gave him Secret Invasion, and it was trash.
That was the writing on that. Shout out to Kanan White, my man. So shout out to the Ripperverse. Look, listen, let me tell you something. Y'all say what y'all want about Young Ripper, but Eric July and Kanan White can attest to this because he's the editor over at Ripperverse. He's the art director.
Art director.
He put money. Black man putting money in a black man's pocket. Y'all can say what you want, but when it comes to corporate economics,
bam.
We just had Kwanzaa, right? We like to celebrate Kwanzaa. We like to light them red, black and green and candles or whatever. But do we see that in real action? You just saw it. So again, stuff be looking crazy. I gotta say, I wanna see the independents win. I want to see all of them win.
Hey, Kanan,
all of them win.
Would you want to come on with Ripper and talk about your book?
Please.
If so, let us know.
Yeah.
We'll have the two of you come on.
I tell you what, that Blood Roof book that's getting ready to come out, I'm looking forward to reading that.
So let us know, Kanan. You and Ripper come on and we'll talk about what you guys are cooking over there.
Yep.
Ripper's got a lot of knowledge. And for a black man selling as many books as he's selling, hey, he doing something right. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, he doing something right." He just got to making he put a black girl in front of this children's book, and it just killed. It just killed the streets. So I think bringing Ripper on, he gonna do his thing, but he's also gonna drop a lot of nuggets, especially to a lot of our up and coming indie guys that are trying to figure it out. This is the template to a certain extent. I mean, you don't have to agree with everything that he says. You don't got to agree with his politics. You don't got to agree with none of that stuff. But he knows something we don't, because he done figured it out. And so you got to give people props where it's due, and that's what I believe in doing, man. So man, shout out to him.
Said, most fun I had in comics in my entire career. Wow.
Yeah. That's saying a lot.
I ain't mad at that. Shout out to Kanan, man.
I think you're on Facebook. I will message you tomorrow and we'll try and work around your schedule and bring you on one of these Wednesdays.
Now, Calico says Secret Invasion was about race and Fury being in the back of the field, a green woman playing a black man in the house, and a light-skinned brother that's green burning the world. Look, let me tell you something. We did a show and we said Graphic had a point. And you know, Samuel L. Jackson did what he could do with that particular show. The writing on that show was questionable, but I honestly believe that he did what he could. Now, my favorite scene in that whole series was him talking with Don Cheadle, who's playing the Skrull, who's supposed to be War Machine or Rhodey, and them having a conversation about being two black men in this world with these white folks. And I just got to say that was probably the best part of that show.
Have there ever been a conversation between two black people in Marvel acknowledging that they're black before that?
On Marvel? At Marvel?
Well, Paul, that's easy. How many black heroes did they have in Marvel before that? All they had was Rhodes and male.
Yeah, they've had lots of black. There's lots of black people. That's not the question. The question is, has Marvel in the MCU ever had two black people talk about their being black, about the black experience in an MCU?
But what I was trying to say is that's easy because you only had three of them that could have interacted in the MCU: Rhodes, Falcon, and Fury, that were males. So, and guess what? Falcon didn't even talk to T'Challa when he debuted in 2016. I mean, I think they said something in advance, and they cut that scene out. So that was.
Well, you know what, though? One of my favorite. One of my favorite scenes in the MCU period was Anthony Mackie playing Sam Wilson, of course, talking to Steve Rogers.
Falcon and Winter Soldier is the only one.
That might, I think that's it. But it's a part where he's talking to him and he's telling him, he said, look, he's trying to get him to relate to the time in which he's in. So he tells him to put on Marvin Gaye's Trouble Man.
Yeah.
That's a black moment. And so even though there's no discussion about the black experience or whatever, Sam Wilson gives him the black experience indirectly, because Trouble Man is a black movie. The soundtrack is a black album written by or sung by one of the blackest singers in the world, Marvin Gaye. And so there's been little things. I'm just bringing that up to say there's been little things here and there.
Who did that movie? Who did that movie?
Was it? No. You talking about the producers or the directors?
Directors, yeah. Who's directing?
What's the brothers? It was the brothers, right?
The Russos.
Russo brothers, yes.
Who gave us the best portrayal of Black Panther ever?
Russo brothers.
The Russo brothers.
I mean,
good writing is good writing, no matter who does it. You have to be honest. You have to emulate true life. That's the best writing. And
but they didn't write that. They just directed it, though, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying they didn't have to have that line in there, right?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. But to your point, Paul, I think that when it comes to us, though, our agency in these stories, whatever, it's not seen, and the Falcon and Winter Soldier, that was kind of the first time that was kind of approached, and it wasn't even approached through Sam, I would say, even though he had this conversation with Rhodey at the very beginning of the series. The conversation was through Elijah Bradley. I mean, not Elijah Bradley. Yeah. So, him being a black man with this experimental drug that lived, and his pain and what he goes through, and he just comes off as an angry black man. But he says to Sam, no self-respecting black man would want to be Captain America. And of course, Malcolm Spellman, black man, who was a showrunner, they put that in there for a reason. And so when we talk about Sam Wilson, this complexity of being black and yet wearing the shield or whatever, and him saying, no self-respecting black man would want to be Captain America. Well, guess what? I'm Captain America. Okay. But where does that come from? Where does that thought that, I went through all of this hell, and I can understand, but from where you sit, Paul, from where you sit, Herschel, from where you sit, Angel, all of us can relate to that. We may not 100% agree, but we can all relate to it. It's kind of like the Chris Rock joke about, America being like an uncle, but he just happened to molest you. You love him, but he, you know what I'm saying, but you've been molested by him or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So these things, they show up in these movies. And unfortunately, with Sam Wilson's, I mean, not only Sam Wilson, but with Nick Fury, these movies get labeled as woke because we dare talk about our experiences.
Yeah. So Damon Watson makes this comment: Black comic stories need a cash infusion to grow the pot. We have to grow beyond the typical black movie. A Stranger Comics cinematic universe could push that envelope. You got to do a movie that's good first. And then it's almost like you have to have the attitude of, I mean, this is what people are saying that Ripperverse does, right? You do a story, you focus on the story, you focus on what you like, and it make it so that it just so happens to have Black people in it. It's somewhat
Right.
critical. So somewhat critical. Some people will say, well, then you're not really being authentic because you're not giving Black agency. But on the flip side of it, not every story involves, you know, the stereotypical tropes of what the Black experience is. There are layers to it. The Black experience is pretty vast, and not everything has to be, man, I grew up in the hood and I got superpowers and I want to be Captain Ankh Africa and protect the hood.
Hey, you just destroyed somebody. You just destroyed some independent creators' whole book, right there.
I'm saying,
Whole
like,
universe, bro.
you gotta stories can be myriad. You know what? I went to Angel and I got to hang out with Derek in Orlando recently, have dinner with him and his daughter. And he had mentioned going to Ollie's. There's Ollie's close to the restaurant. So I went to the Ollie's after we broke, and I picked up this book. Let me make myself big here.
High Noon.
High Noon. Have you seen this book before? I love when Rich turns his back to the screen. So
You know, there's something good about to come out
something
the
good comes.
screen.
This book was $6.99 at Ollie's. It originally retailed for $24.99, $6.99 at Ollie's. I don't know what made me pick it up. I don't often see a lot of cowboy comic book type things. We talked about that recently. Then I pulled off this sleeve that was on there. And then it had like this werewolf with guns. I'm like, that's different. So then I open up the book. I haven't read this yet, but I was in the store. I open up this book. I'm like, what's this book all about? And then all of a sudden, I see all these Black folk in the book.
Oh, wow.
And it's this bounty hunter guy by the name of Conroy McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I'm like, what the hell? How have I never heard of this? How have we never heard of this book before? And the art's dope.
Mm.
Black cowboys, the occult.
So who put the book out? I mean, who wrote the book? Who's the artist? Who's the writer?
Written by David Gallagher, art by Steve Ellis. It's called High Noon, Bullet Holes and Bite Marks.
Okay.
What?
Let's check it out.
Bullet holes and bite marks.
At Ollie's for $6.99. It's a graphic novel. That's what it looks
Artwork
like.
is really good.
Really good,
that's
right?
crazy. Yeah, it looks good.
Originally priced at $25 and $6.99 at Ollie's.
That's what's up.
That's the dude, Conroy McGregor. Badass black cowboy guy. So I'm looking forward to reading this. Looking forward to reading that. But how many other books like that are out there that we don't support because it's not Marvel and DC? We got to do stuff that's out there.
I mean, you know, I think part of the challenge that we have, and we talk about this often, is the exposure.
Exactly.
The exposure. It's hard to like know what's out here until you actually get out here and see what's out here. I've often said this about representation. We really don't need representation. You just have to find it, what's already available and what's already there. That's why Black Comic Laws exists, because part of our function has been to go into these loan boxes and these comic book shops and find these books, whether we're talking about Captain Vril, or we're talking about, the Pack, another wolf, a werewolf story.
Pack
We're
was
talking about,
amazing.
you know, I want everybody to think about this. Philadelphia came out a couple years ago, right? It's up to like issue 35, 36. So it's really been around like 3 years. Okay. A little over 3 years. So we're talking like 2021, late 2020. I remember reading that comic book. And I remember telling Paul and anybody that would listen, this is the book. From the rip, issue 1. This here ain't nothing like it. Here we are, fast forward, a couple years later, Philadelphia literally spawned a universe. Rodney Barnes doing a podcast, and now currently writing Bad Moon? Batman? Bad Moon?
Full Moon.
Full Moon. Which, by the way, issue 3 was amazing.
Yeah. Disturbing, but amazing.
Batman as a werewolf ain't no joke. Would not want to see that dude in a dark alley. Not a werewolf Batman. Because he's prepared for whatever. But yo, I'm just saying that I remember though telling everybody I could on this show, in our Facebook group, Philadelphia is that John. And here we are years later, and folk like to say this, but I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna like it too. Told you so. Told you so. But the thing is, because I saw the book, because it had a black character on the front cover of that book, and me grabbing it, just taking an interest in it, opened it up, and I was able to tell any and everybody whatever. And that book was one of the most successful. Eisner nominated, you know what I'm saying? Rodney Barnes is a Hollywood dude.
Yep.
You know, now he's considered one of the best comic book writers there is.
Yep.
So my point is that these guys that write these books and these creators that write this stuff, their stuff has to be exposed to us, especially those who are readers like ourselves. That's one thing about Black Comic Lords. You know, we read comic books. I know some people say we don't, but we do.
I don't know where they get that from. That's so weird to me.
Yeah, it's very weird, Angel, but they're out there. So either way, you know, if we can just shed light and share with the community. And here's something about the community I want to say to the community at large. Black Comic Lords is a platform for all of you guys. And if you have a project or whatever, and you believe in your book, send us your book. Not for you to get an interview. Because trust and believe, if you think it's like that, send us a book. We'll call you for the interview. But don't send us a book and say, I want you to interview me about my book. No, send us a book. Because word of mouth is the best publicity any creator could ever ask for.
Right.
Period. It's cool that Paul loves doing interviews. He likes the deep dives. But me, myself, I like to get a comic book and I like to read it like cold calling. I want to just pick the book up, know nothing about it. Don't send me an advanced copy. Just I want to see the book and I want to experience it in real time. And after reading it or whatever, and if I think it's dope, I'm going to tell some people about it. It's no different than, Paul, you going to a restaurant and the food is amazing. You're going to tell 5 to 10 people how amazing that restaurant food was. here's the other part. But if you have a terrible, terrible experience at a restaurant, you're not going to tell 5 to 10 people. You're going to tell 50 people. For whatever reason, we double down when it comes to negativity stuff. We have no problem telling, oh man, I went over here to eat, man, that food was nasty, it was trash, the service was sucked or whatever. But when it comes to a real dining experience, oh man, the food was lovely, it was great. And we'll tell, like I say, 5 to 10 people. It's no different. It's part of the human nature. If I read a comic book and it is amazing, I'm going to tell who I can tell or whatever, right? A couple of people. But if that book was trash,
everybody gonna know.
Everybody gonna know.
This sheet says, wait, Philadelphia is a black book?
Oh.
I'm going to just say, she go get a late pass if you don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's if, the exposure to these, because there's some incredible artists and writers out here, man, and they're doing amazing things. But a lot of times we don't know what they're doing. That book that you just pulled up not too long ago, that what's it called? The Fix. What's the name of the book?
Freddie
the Fix. Freddie the Fix.
Oh,
now,
Freddie the Fix.
That wasn't on a lot of people's radar before that book came out. But we happened, some people happened to see it, saw it had a black character on the cover, read it, and said, "Oh, this is pretty good," and it was.
It was.
It was a very, very good book. Garth Ennis, take that for what it's worth. Garth Ennis is like the James Gunn comic book writers, disgusting, but you like his stuff.
Speaking about some other books that came out this week.
Yes.
Moon Man #6 came out. I haven't read it yet.
Is that the last one?
No, there's another one afterwards.
No. Oh, okay.
It actually has a picture of Kid Cudi on the cover of this one. So
she says, "Late pass. I didn't know." Yeah, look.
Oh yeah.
Now you know.
You know
now. Yeah. Go pick up a couple of the trades. Get the first couple of volumes of it, but just get volume 1. Just try it. Just go, or better yet, go to a comic shop and get. You can usually get the Philadelphia #1 for $1. They sell it on the spinner rack for $1. Go buy that and go read it. I promise you, you're gonna get hooked. That book is amazing.
That's good.
But you have to be. Now here's the deal. Philadelphia is a horror comic, but it's written by Rodney Barnes. It's full of black characters. The melanin is strong in that book. So yeah.
We talked about books we didn't like. This is a book I didn't like. I was looking forward to this. NYX. I haven't bought any of this series, but I saw in this one for the solicits, Sink, who has been MIA since the fall of Krakoa, is going to challenge Prodigy to battle.
What?
Yeah, like Orako style, like to the death.
Oh wow.
So what I gathered is that Prodigy and these other mutants, young mutants, they don't reform like a school or something. They form a community in New York for, in essence, kind of embracing a version of Xavier's dream of having mutants and humans live together. So they form kind of like this co-op type of place in this building in New York, where mutants and humans are getting along fine, and that's it. There's no agenda involved. And they put they do a mural on side of the building saying, with X's on it, letting people know this is a mutant haven. Sink comes over and he's like, "What are you doing? We just got wiped out. They're trying to kill us. Orcus wiped out a bunch of us. Well, a lot of us were in hiding. And you put all the mutants in one building in New York and put a big ass X on it to let everybody know where to attack you. Are you stupid? I'm challenging you for leadership. Orako style, we're going to fight to the death, and whoever wins will take over leadership of this group." So I'm like, and they're talking about different philosophies about what it means to be a mutant. That storyline was actually really good. The dialogue was good, But at the end of the day, they're like comparing powers, and Prodigy's like, well, I've mastered all this knowledge, and Sync's like, I've synced with all the best people in mutantdom. I'm, beyond Omega level. At the end of the day, the book, I mean, it's a bit of a spoiler. It ends in a draw, and they're like shaking hands and like, oh yeah, we're just gonna be boys and we're cool. I'm like, what?
No,
You just
black on
all
black.
this dialogue
Yeah.
of differences in philosophies of what it means to be a mutant, and then Prodigy and Sync in a fight ends in a draw. That's impossible. Sync should murder Prodigy. As smart as Prodigy is, Sync has the abilities of all these other mutants to draw from.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way Prodigy should be able to take Sync. Anyway, I didn't like the end of the book.
Yeah.
It started out great, the middle was great, but the end sucked. So
at least there's no black on black crime.
it was, well, black on black violence, but that's standard stuff. I will tell you a book that I found interesting. New Champions. Now, this book came a little bit under the radar. I did not know what this group was about. The only reason I bought this book is because if you see this little black girl right here, Marvel about 2 years ago did these variant covers called New Champions, and nobody knew who these characters were. They were just like alternate sidekick versions of various Marvel characters. This little black girl is a little Wakandan girl who actually has not vibranium powers, but like powers over vibration or something like that. I don't remember what it was. But she was supposed to be like the Black Panther version sidekick type thing.
Okay.
All these characters represent sidekick versions of existing Marvel characters. This girl with the wings, she's kind of like Falcon in a way. But she's like an amalgam of Falcon and like Reed Richards. This kid right here, he's called Cadet Marvel. So he's like Captain Marvel, but in a boy form. There's this version of Ghost Rider. I forget her name, but she, instead of a motorcycle, she has roller skates. This character right here, I thought was like, well, he's like he calls himself Moon Squire instead of Moon Knight, and it's a black kid. Didn't know that. In essence, the vibe of this book is New Warriors. It is literally the vibe I get is New Warriors, which is like one of my favorite series from the 90s. And did some reading and research. All these characters were actually introduced in a Spider-Woman series that came out last year. Issues 7 through 10 was the introduction of these characters. So I don't want to give away the story, but it actually wasn't a bad book. I kind of dug it.
Okay.
I kind of dug it. And then the splash page at the end revealed who all the possible future character roster may be. And there are some surprises on there that's actually kind of dope. I'm not going to give that away. Okay. Other book that came out, Prodigy, Slave of Mars. If you're not reading this, this is a dope book.
It is. Very much so.
It is a dope, well-written book. Remember, we were just talking about this, about what does it take to make some Black comics become more successful? And I think we talked about the fact of just do a good story.
Yep.
Focus on doing a good story that just so happens to have Black people in it. Mm-hmm. That's what this is. This is what Mark Millar does. He's got a dope character. It's a dope story. And the guy just so happens to be Black. But he's not sitting there, going into a whole bunch of racial tropes and saying I'm Black every 5 seconds and the man's coming after me. He doesn't do all that. But it works, and it's successful, and it has mainstream appeal, and it's good.
Well, it's interesting. Mark Millar, he is. I think he's underrated as a quote unquote white guy that can write black characters.
He writes a lot of black
Um,
characters as well.
yeah. There's the book that he did a number of years ago. It's a couple of series, but there's one volume that he did of Hit Girl.
Yes, and kick ass.
Yeah,
With a
Kick
black,
Ass.
black, yeah.
But he did a volume with a black woman as an assassin.
Right.
That was very, very good. That went under the radar. A lot of folks slept on that book. That book was pretty good.
Yeah.
And of course, he subsequently did a follow up to that with Hit Girl in it. And it was called Kick Ass versus Hit Girl.
Right.
But yeah, Mark Millar ain't no slouch when it comes to the pen. He can write. Edison Crane is a dope character. Some people don't like him because they feel like he's op. But all he to do is just very smart. He's like the smartest guy in the world.
This is the third volume of the Prodigy series, and I think this is the best volume.
It is, most definitely. It is. Got his brothers in this book, and I love their interaction. The brother's a little bit more street, but he's just as smart as well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these guys, like, it's like a family of geniuses almost.
A family of genius, a black family of geniuses.
Yeah.
How unique is that in comics?
Very much so. Very much so.
Final book I wanted to talk. I mean, there's also Shadow Man, Soul Eaters. I'm not as much of a fan of this version of Shadow Man. I love Shadow Man. I think he's the best Valiant comic character, but there's something just off-putting about this.
Well, the writing has not been. This is not the best volume of Shadow Man. I'll say that.
It's not.
The
art is
definitely art is not that good, but the story is it's a snooze fest.
Yeah,
to be perfectly honest. So if you don't buy this, I can't be mad at you.
You're not missing anything.
Not missing anything. Not at all.
Final thing, Ultimate Black Panther 12.
Yep.
Shout out to Brian Edward Hill. The storyline is finally, huh?
Yeah, I said this is the last one of this volume, right?
Of this storyline.
Yes.
The story, it's still going. The series is still going, but he closes out this part of the trade paperback, so to speak.
Okay.
I've
read it. So
the only criticism is that these stories are mad short. Everyone says it. The stories are mad short. And ends on a cliffhanger.
This is Marvel's version of a Boom Studios book.
It was really good though. This particular issue was actually very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So those are our reads of the week.
Yep. And you know what?
It's Thursday morning.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, it's late. We've been here for 3 hours.
Yep.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. Wow, it really is late.
I want to just throw in there for those that have family and friends in LA, please reach out. A lot of them are without power, even though their house may not be in danger of fire, because the power companies decide to punish people because of a lawsuit a few years back. So make sure you check on your family and friends out in LA. They're really going through it right now.
Yeah. All right. I will tell you all, Black Comic Lords is at a stage now where cool things are happening for us, to us. I don't know if it's to us or for us, but suffice to say, we kind of bubbling right now, and we've got some cool things that potentially may be cooking. That's all I can say.
I have stuff cooking.
Cool. We in the kitchen.
So just stay tuned.
Frying it up. Frying them fried chicken wings. Frying them hard.
Any last words, you guys?
Be safe. We have a winter storm heading our way, so I don't even know if we're going to work tomorrow, but we'll call 5 o'clock in the morning to find out the weather update. So we'll see.
Does it snow where you live?
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
It snows in North Texas. It's one of the I guess the challenges of living in North Texas. Snow. It snows here, but it doesn't snow like regular snow all the time. But we get snow every now and then. But we'll see. But yeah, everybody, y'all be safe. Enjoy the week, and we will see you guys when we see you. It's been fun, and we will catch you guys real quick though. Creature Commandos. That's much watch TV. James Gunn is sinister.
Sinister.
That's all I'm gonna say. That dude is crazy for real. Good night, y'all. Y'all be blessed.
Black Comic Lords, we got you.
Peace.